With tonight's series opener against the Cardinals in St. Louis. The Suns had a rough night in their postseason debut with a Game 1 loss to the Clippers. They'll get a chance to even the series on Tuesday. The Cardinals added to their quarterback room with the signing of veteran Jeff Driscoll to a one-year contract. He'll battle with Colt McCoy and David.
My name is Benjamin, but yes.
While Kyler Murray continues his rehab.
You called me Jax.
Weekend wideout DeAndre Hopkins took to social media saying he doesn't want to raise. That post was deleted this morning. I'm Frank Arity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword FUN at foxsports910.com. That's FUN at foxsports910.com.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
A nice day on tap for your Monday. Look for mostly sunny skies. Temperatures getting up to about 91 degrees. And then for tonight, clear skies with those temperatures dipping down to around 61 degrees. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Parker & Sons.
Parker & Sons, your AC, plumbing, electrical, and even water filtration experts.
Please
With
stop,
Parker & Sons, you get service in minutes, not days. So call 602-2REPAIR for Parker. We're not your average Joe.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
When you hit the top stories, then I'll open with those highlights.
That'll be great. Okay, pal. And is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Oh, you guys are hot.
On Fox Sports 910.
Hey, everybody, we say good afternoon to you on a very nice day in the Valley of the Sun on a Monday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910, also 99.9 FM HD2 and on the iHeartRadio app, and it is free. We are sequestered nicely here at the CAZ Sports Bar and Sportsbook. Casino, Arizona is where you can always find us on a Monday, and today is no different. So, fellas, as we sit here and we assess what is taking place right now here in the Sportsbook, I'm just guessing that over the weekend, and especially yesterday, late afternoon when the Suns game was on, this joint was jumping.
Oh, I'm sure it was. You know, I'm sure somebody with the book here at the CAZ Sports Bar making it happen. You know, folks probably very optimistic about the Suns.
Yes.
When they saw them trailing by 5 at halftime, probably wouldn't put a few wagers about, oh, for sure the Suns team's going to come back, which they did.
They did. Yeah, they took the lead.
They get the 9-point lead and just couldn't close anything out. But we'll dive into the more finite things that happened in that game yesterday that we, quite frankly, I was surprised, Jimmy.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I felt this team didn't have quite the energy or want to that the Clippers did. And you saw them come out. It was close for, 5 or 6 minutes before the Clippers outscored the Suns. Was it 30-18 at the very end of the first quarter? And then it was a game, but the thing that just kind of sticks out in my mind is not making stops. Offensive rebounds by the Clippers, and they had absolutely no answer for stopping one Kawhi Leonard.
All right, which brings us to our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question of the day. And for a free quote repair or installation, just head to state48roofing.com, and you can follow them on social media by searching hashtag sexy roof status. And here is the question. What concerns you the most about the Suns' Game 1 loss to the Clippers last night? Here are your options. 1, not coming out prepared. 2, being outcoached. 3, could not stop Kawhi Leonard, the Claw. Or 4, Clippers offensive boards. Just go to Roc and Manuch on Twitter and cast your vote, and we will continue to update this as the show rolls on. All right, let's go.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ.
You guys are potted down until these
Casino,
clips are done.
Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
Rojas at third, smothers it. There's one. And they've got the double play, and that's the ball game. A sensational start by Zach Gallen, a 4-run inning against Sandy Alcantara. All adds up to a 5-0 Diamondbacks win.
81, and as promised, Clippers have the ball to start the final flush, looking to take game one. The Suns 6-0 in their last 6 game ones.
Are you guys hot? About 5 seconds.
A foul.
The strength of Kawhi Leonard taking the contact, falling away.
And thank you to Valleys for both of those highlights, baseball and basketball. We'll get to baseball in just a little bit. It was a nice win for the Diamondbacks as they continue their road swing. But the big story, as we alluded to at the very beginning of the program, is what took place yesterday against the Clippers.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising when you watch the Suns look more disjointed. And I thought that the Clippers were, but Clippers at full strength. Other thing, too, is watching this Clipper bench score 34 points, and the Suns score, 10 points off the bench. Monty going deep into his bench.
I was surprised at that.
It really was. And then just the other thing that kind of strikes me is we got Kevin Durant for a reason, did we not?
That is correct.
The lack of shots maybe in the fourth quarter. And I know D-Book's been kind of the closer the last several years for playoffs around here, as they just mentioned. Kevin Ray talking about 6-0 in their first playoff starts. But the one thing I look at now, this is 5 playoff losses in a row for the Phoenix Suns. You brought KD in for a reason, did you not?
Correct.
I would think that he'd be, with 17 seconds left, would be that guy that D-Book can drive, but I'd kick it back out to him. He was at the three-point line wide open. Yeah, at that point in time, you can go ahead and tie it up. I think I want Kevin Durant being my go-to guy in the last minute or even the last 2 minutes of the game. I get it. Book's been somewhat used to that, but you brought KD in for a reason. He's the assassin. He's the guy that you bring in, and you get him to hoist the last couple of shots. He only made 2 buckets. He only had 2 shots, 2 buckets in the fourth quarter. Where were the other shots? And that's my whole contention with that fourth quarter. Suns had, I think, a very good chance, but you couldn't stop Kawhi. And then on top of that, the offense just looked, a little haphazard. And then at the very end, for D-Book to go in, I clearly felt that was a foul, that the hand slap, the low 5 that Westbrook got. But, hey, let's look at the true meaning. The offensive rebounds that the Clippers got in the closing moments of that game to get it and have they had, I think, 11 extra shots. Or they had the 14 extra offensive rebounds, but 11 or 12 extra possessions on top of that, Jimmy. Well, hell, if you only get half of them, you go 2s, you stop and think about it, that's 12 points if you just get 50% from that standpoint. So those are some of the disappointing things in reference to watching. I'd probably say the fourth quarter more so than the entire game.
Did it surprise you watching that game last night? And I watched J.J. Redick's podcast this morning, and he was talking about, analyzing Kawhi's 24 shots, and not once was he double-teamed. Does that surprise you that the Suns didn't adjust on the fly and just 2 3-pointers late in the fourth quarter? No adjustments, no double-team on Kawhi.
Well, and it's funny to bring that up, to see him kick that. They kicked it out to him at the three-point line in the corner, wide open. And I would agree with that. I think Redick makes a great, valid point there. They thought that whether you looked at, some of the scenarios that they're going to have in reference to guarding him, and they thought Craig or Ish Wainwright would be the guys. And we're going to catch up with Tim Kempton, the Suns radio analyst here at 1:30, because he had talked about maybe starting Ish Wainwright versus anybody else.
Right.
They only played 7 minutes. Correct. But Craig plays 27 minutes and scores 22 points.
Yep.
I don't know if you had a blanket over, Kawhi Leonard yesterday, you'd be able to stop him from doing what he was doing. Completely healthy. Some of the shots that he threw up, and on top of that, Jimmy, the guy's a strong dude to try to stop going underneath the paint.
Manuch, what's his nickname?
The Claw.
That's it. Every time he grabs the basketball, you are not getting it out of his hands. His hands are enormous. It looks like a grapefruit in his hands. That's how large his hands are. He has that nickname for a reason, and it came to fruition yesterday.
And on top of that, everybody busted on Russell Westbrook, his lack of prowess as far as shooting, 3 for 19.
Yes.
Well, did you notice how many rebounds?
I did.
11 rebounds, but the five offensive rebounds he had to keep the ball alive, to kick it back out, And then I think they scored on 3 of those offensive rebounds that he got.
Yep.
That's where he helps out. And I thought his hustle, his tenaciousness, and his I'm going to show y'all that I'm here to win it all. And I'm not that same guy you saw at the Lakers, OKC, and the 25 other teams he played for, that he was bound and determined to be that defensive guy or that hustle guy to make plays for this Clippers team.
All right, let me say this about Westbrook. It is correct. He was horrible shooting at 3 of 19 and went 1 of 6 from behind the three-point line. But, Manuch, to your point about the 11 overall rebounds, he is the best rebounding guard that we have seen maybe in 20 years. Alvin Robertson is the guy that I go back to, who was considered when he was playing the best rebounding guard. I'm under the assumption right now that Westbrook is even better just because of, look at all the triple-doubles that he has had throughout his career.
Well,
you got to rebound in order for you have to have triple-doubles, and he does.
So the question, and we'll have this for Tim Kempton coming up here at the bottom hours. Okay, is this Suns team fundamentally flawed as far as rebounding is concerned? Why are you getting outplayed? And is physicality just not a part of this Suns team? And I'm sure that he's got that answer, but I got to tell you what. I mean, they came out, and we'll hear from Ty Lue here coming up in our next segment with our Chevy Sounds of the Night. And they were bound and determined. They kind of took it to heart that they're being undervalued in this. I'm guilty of that too. I think something says it sucks. I have faith in the Suns. They're going to get it together.
Yeah, you should.
They should. But heads up, this team's a little bit more so than a lot of people. Maybe even the Suns thought from that standpoint.
The thing that is the telling point here, aside from not being able to control Kawhi Leonard at all, and we referenced it, was the offensive rebounding. 15 offensive boards for the Clippers to 6 offensive boards for the Phoenix Suns. And let me just say one more point quickly about Russell Westbrook and all of the naysayers, and he sucks and he can't shoot and all of that. Yeah, he had a bad shooting game. But you know what he did, Manuch? What you preach all the time. When one thing's not working, D up, and be aggressive. And that's exactly what he was throughout that entire game. And that's one of the reasons why that the Clippers were successful and ended up winning that game. All right, when we come back, we're going to give you our Valley Chevy dealers plays of the weekend. We'll also have a Masters version as well. There are so many storylines that have taken place in the Masters and also at the golf tournament, which concluded yesterday, where once again, Cantlay was in a position where he kept everybody waiting, and it took him like 10 minutes to make a putt. We'll get into all of that as we continue, everybody. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. It is indeed from Casino.
Home shopping, you'll need a pre-approval letter. Call GC Global Capital. You can get pre-approved in minutes. Call 480-397-9300. Free second opinions and comparisons. GC Global Capital is an Arizona licensed mortgage. 792-4983. An equal opportunity lender.
Hey, Arizona. If you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, visit any one of your 13 Chevy dealers for the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. The Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size light-duty pickup. So check it out during truck season going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Based on S&G Global Mobility 2022 calendar year-end, U.S. new vehicle registrations using GM custom retail registration type in the GM half-ton large pickup signals.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The
The people of Arizona have voted, and the results are official. Lerner & Rowe has won again, being voted best personal injury law firm 8 years in a row. We'd like to thank everyone who voted, making Lerner & Rowe the people's choice for personal injury. What makes this so popular? We've helped over 150,000 injured people recover billions of dollars for their injuries, and over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. We're recovering more money for more people than any other law firm in Arizona. Call us today.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
In this week's Marketers Report, we hear about the importance of local radio from Allison Griffin, head of marketing at State Farm.
iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that is local, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel but at a national scale is so efficient and important for us.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fried co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price participation may vary. Includes choice of double stacked JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, broadcasting live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is a sports fan's paradise. You are locked in to Fox Sports 910, live from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Time for the Valley Chevy dealers' top plays of the week.
Dancing and looking and directing traffic, and look at the length of this play.
Murray to the 10, to the 5, and he's going to convert it. That's unbelievable.
Find new
Guys are hot. 10 seconds.
Chevy dealer. Set up a test drive by heading to valleychevy.com. Now today's top plays on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Tim Kempton coming up in about 13 minutes. Yes, we are live out here at the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. It's our Sounds of the Weekend. And, of course, it has to be the Suns. And let's start. The guy that was the Suns' Achilles heel all night, but mainly in that fourth quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter. Here's Kawhi Leonard.
81, and as promised, Clippers have the ball to start the final front, looking to take game one. The Suns 6-0 in their last 6 game ones. Leonard launches, connects, counted on a foul.
The strength of Kawhi Leonard taking the contact, falling away.
Hell of a game for him.
How do you get that ball off? I mean, it's like if you mug him, you grab him, he gets that off, and then the other one running off to the side just throws it up in the air. But, you talk about the strength, the size of Kawhi Leonard.
Yep.
You watch him, intimately like that for 2.5 hours, and you just go, damn, you appreciate this kid even more and more. You saw him when he won the title in Toronto. But, man, he just was uncontainable, I felt, the entire game. And no answer for him.
He seemed to me, though, he's got those line drive jumpers, right? They're line drives, not much arc on those things.
Yep.
But, I wasn't really keeping track of how many points he was scoring, watching the game. But I thought it was a quiet 30-plus. I mean,
a quiet 30 points.
Well, because, I think there was so much emphasis on our next down that we're going to play with Russell Westbrook, and what he was able to accomplish. And what he was the factor, and this was the play that could have been. It was probably the play of the game, if not the play of the weekend in all of basketball. And here's Westbrook in the block and the save for the win. Again, all the soundest credit to our friends at Valley Sports.
Goes to work on Westbrook. Gets around and
Blocked by Westbrook. Saved by Westbrook. Off of Booker. Oh, my goodness. The play of the game.
No question. You're inside the final moment. Phoenix is desperate to regain a possession. And then Westbrook just coming off the offensive board, and then he disrupts the second sequence enough to knock the ball off a Book, goes out of bounds. And it shows up in the box score. It's just a team rebound.
he doesn't really get credit for it in this box score, but it was all Westbrook.
Yeah,
all Westbrook, and it was that all night.
He had a block on Kevin Durant as well, plus a block early in the game. Look,
clutch.
He was clutch. His shooting was atrocious, and he said so following the game in the players' press conference. But he took it to another level defensively, passing the basketball and rebounding the basketball. And right now, he is the best rebounding guard in the NBA.
It just seems like he's got this, I wouldn't say chip on his shoulder, probably a boulder on his shoulder.
Oh, I agree with that.
Because everybody talks about his lack of shooting. And now that he's starting and he's back off the bench, you think he's got a greater appreciation that he's back starting again, Jimmy, versus coming off the bench with the Lakers, and then he was coming off the bench with the Clippers. He's like, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you that if I don't get it done offensively, I'm going to get it done defensively.
I think also, too, he had the 2 free throws with the clock ticking down with 10 seconds left. That was the key. I mean, the Clippers were holding a 3-point lead, and that was it. I mean, it was just that collection, that sequence, of less than a minute that really made a big difference. It was all Westbrook.
The guy has his faults, and we all know what they are. But Manuch is correct where he's talking about the boulder on the shoulder, and he plays one way, and that's high gear on every play. He doesn't really know how to slow down, which is one of his faults, but he is such a trigger point for the team that he is playing on that they need to match his enthusiasm and athleticism while the game is going on.
Guys, was it just me? I thought that KD would be the guy to take at least that 3. They're down by 3. I get it if they go get 2.
Okay.
Booker's team still, guys.
I get it, but
I know everyone assumes that, you sign this guy.
You brought him in to
I
win.
understand that, but at the end of the day, it's still Book's team. I'm looking to give it to Book.
Who do I want him to win, or do I want to give it to the guy that's been there and done that?
Yeah, Book, who's been doing it, who helped him get here.
Okay, I get it, but you brought Kevin Durant to be the assassin to make those shots. That's exactly
Maybe
why.
he's not ready to be the assassin. The guy's lost 7 straight playoff games.
Okay.
How is he the assassin?
Okay, the Suns have lost 6 straight playoff games. He's lost 7. I'd rather have a better shot of Kevin Durant taking that last shot than Book. Matter of fact, Book could have went in. He could have kicked it back out. KD was at the 3-point line, wide ass open, hit that 3, and he just hit a 3 earlier in the fourth quarter. I prefer KD take those last shots. That's why you've got that guy in this lineup.
I don't think it matters which guy takes it, to be honest with you. They're both more than capable, and they have both performed in big spots by being the closer. But I agree with Manuch from the standpoint that when Book made that penetrating move toward the basket, it was Durant who was totally uncovered behind the 3-point line and most likely would have hit that jumper.
It's disappointing for KD. First quarter, really 10 minutes, no field goals, no points.
Nothing.
Third quarter, 10 minutes, didn't even take a shot. Final 6 minutes, 3 points, 1 for 1. That's 1 shot, and that's a 3. That's it. Granted, scored 20-something points, but at the same time, this is still Book's team. I don't know why you don't go to your guy that you've been going to all year long to get you where you're at.
I don't have any problem with him going to. I think it's just a better shooter at the outside.
Is he?
Well, I will say this from the 3-point line. Yes, KD's a better 3-point shooter, and that's the reason why I saw him hovering there. And when he drove it in, kick it back out to him because he was wide open. And that's like we saw with Kawhi Leonard, some wide open threes. And I get it because I'd rather take that shot with 16 seconds with KD on a 3 and him driving in and them collapsing on him and then to block it, whether they block or not, it's a 2-pointer. And then I guess, of course, the Suns would foul him. They go to the free throw line and you play that foul game the last 10 seconds of the game trying to tie it up one way or the other. Hey, that was just one of those things. And on top of that, D-Book, you got the shot blocked. Don't holler at the referee for a foul, which I thought was a foul.
He's been doing that a lot.
I know, because here's the thing. You got Westbrook kicks the ball back in. If Book's paying attention, not worrying about it, that ball he might have avoided the ball, got it back in. The Suns might have got that ball back. So he got caught up in not getting the call. And as a veteran, you just got to play it out all the way through.
Here's KD talking about Kawhi Leonard, who made the most of his first playoff game in nearly 2 years.
It's a tough cover. You can score from all areas. So, he was making shots there in the second half. We made some big threes there in the fourth quarter. just an all-time player. So we got to continue to be physical and deny his catches and make it as tough as we can on him.
Leonard reeled off 30-plus points in 27 of his 49 career postseason outings now since that started a title run for Kawhi, at least in 2019. And, he's a two-time Defensive Player of the Year, two-time NBA Finals MVP. Guy's freaking awesome. I love watching him. I just wish he was on my team.
I can understand that.
He's just unbelievable.
He's healthy and he's rested up. That's for sure.
And then here's Coach Ty Lue talking about his team's fight.
And like I said, I liked our fight tonight. I really did. Just our energy. I loved our physicality, and we did a good job.
That's the key, physicality right there. Because with Zubats,
oh my gosh,
Zubats is much more physical than Ayton is down low on the block. He pushed Ayton around.
He got so outplayed.
He did.
Unbelievable.
And Plumlee also pushed Ayton around and played great as the backup center. He had 11 rebounds, and he went 3 for 3 from the floor with 7 points, Plumlee.
And some of those offensive rebounds toward the end of the fourth quarter by Zubats and Westbrook to get the ball back out I thought was very frustrating watching that game. It's like, guys, another shot.
2 minutes.
Another shot, and then they make it. So them trying to get any stops at being the Suns was extremely difficult. I felt frustrating. And I don't know, Jimmy, just didn't see the flow that we're used to seeing with KD in the left, like we saw those last few games.
Let me just say one thing here real fast. And I know people are talking a lot today. I talked to a guy at the gym today before I came in here, and he was saying,
I know you went to the gym. That's kind of nice to know.
Jimmy, you work out?
Yeah, we got to do like a press release. Let everybody know that Jimmy goes to the gym before he makes
What are
it to
you
the
promoting
show.
now? You got to
Yeah, you're wearing your Bengals shirt.
I am,
I hope you kept the receipt.
Oh, man, no.
Seriously.
I like this shirt.
We said the same thing when he walked in.
I like this shirt.
It's like,
Really?
Are you a Bengals fan?
No, not necessarily.
Because if somebody sees you wearing this shirt, and you can see us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, but they're going to assume that you're like an executive for the Bengals.
Oh, I wish I was. I'd be making a lot more money.
You would be, yes. You absolutely would
But then you wouldn't have Roc and me,
Well,
Jimmy.
that's true. That is true. What the hell was my point?
DeAndre just had a horrible game.
There you go.
Yeah.
1 minute. Let me just say this about Ayton. Ayton had more shots from the floor than Devin Booker did.
Yep.
More shots from the floor than Devin Booker. Fellas, you have to feed the beast, which is what the Clippers did. They fed their beast, who is Kawhi Leonard. You have to feed the 2 top Pumas for the Suns, which are Booker and Durant.
That's a Bengal. That's not a Puma on
I
your
know.
shirt.
I'm well aware. I know.
Hey, real quick, Jimmy, they mentioned you kind of noticed this. When Booker was out there with 4 subs, 2 or 3 different times, versus having Booker or one of the other starters out there, and that's when you felt the Suns really could make a run because D Book was really the only guy, and even Torrey Craig was out. So I thought that was something too to take notice, and then I think that Monty will probably make sure at least there's 2 starters on the floor during that time.
When you look at the Suns bench, I mean, the Clippers just schooled them 34-10. There's no way. LA's 4-man bench outworked the Suns' 6-man bench, or their 6 reserves.
Let me say another thing. You're going to have to play Landale more than Biyombo. You can use Biyombo in spot duty when you need a defensive stop because he is a better defensive player than Landale. But Landale is a much better offensive player, and he creates things on the floor on the offensive end. He only played 8 minutes, and he scores 4 points. He has an assist, and he has a block shot. So you got to feed. If you're going to make that transition and give Ayton a rest, I would believe that Landale has got to be the first guy that comes off the bench.
Today's plays of the weekend, which were all Suns and Clippers, are brought to you by the Valley Chevy Dealers. Your Valley Chevy dealers serving the Valley for over 80 years. It's truck month season at your Valley Chevy Dealers. Check it out for yourself. Just head to valleychevy.com. Coming up, we'll be giving you a chance to win a bunch of 75-inch smart TVs from our friends from Valley Chevy. That's coming up in a new Texan Win contest. Details coming on our website at Roc and Manuch. So Suns lose the first playoff game. What are some adjustments we need to see to even up this series? Suns radio analyst Tim Kempton will join us next to break it all down. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B as we're live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
This is what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
The Cardinals have added a new quarterback with the signing of veteran Jeff Driscoll to a one-year contract. He's set to battle it out with Colt McCoy and David Blau for the starting spot, while Kyler Murray continues his rehab. LSU transfer guard Adam Miller is committed to Sun Devil men's basketball. He averaged over 11 points a game as part of the Tigers' starting five. The Diamondbacks will pitch Merrill Kelly in today's series debut against the Cardinals in St. Louis. The Suns laid an egg in their postseason debut with a Game 1 loss to the LA Clippers. They get a chance to even the series tomorrow. I'm Frank Harity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Join Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
Golfers, tee it up at Vans Golf Shops for the hottest new arrivals from Titleist. Check out the new Pro V1 golf balls designed for longer distance, more consistency, and unrivaled control. Swing by Vans Golf Shops and elevate your game with the new TSR Woods. Engineered faster, longer, and straighter. Come in and get custom fit for free today. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, unmatched expertise, unmatched service.
Right Toyota, the #1 volume Toyota dealer in the state of Arizona, ensures you a buying experience that will exceed all your expectations. Check it out for yourself. Located just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale and online at righttoyota.com.
Are you looking to get in the best shape of your life and offer your son or daughter the best training in Arizona? Then listen up. Dan Manucci here for the new Coco 5 Performance Center at Bell Bank Park, located in Southeast Mesa, the premier training facility in the Southwest. The state-of-the-art facility is 25,000 square feet, which combines junior high, high school, and college teams, as well as individual athletes of all ages. And it's the new home for my quarterback training. They have the best team of coaches led by Olympic gold medal winner Dan O'Brien. If your son or daughter wants to get bigger, stronger, and faster, then you need to call Coco 5 Performance Center now. Sign up by calling at 480-572-0647, and one of their team members will get you the type of training specific to your sport. That's 480-572-0647, or go online to legacyperformanceaz.com. And for a limited time, mention me, Dan Manucci, and they will give you your first session free on me. Again, that's 480-572-0647, or go to legacyperformanceaz.com.
What do you think of our new car from Carvana? Think you can handle our busy family? We have 7 days to see. First, let's stock up on groceries. Then we'll help your sister move, and we should really visit Grandma.
That's like a whole lifetime in 7 days.
Confidently shop for cars with Carvana's 7-day money-back guarantee. Visit Carvana.com for all terms and conditions.
You don't need to get personal, like revealing orange juice commercials make you cry, to get the State Farm personal price plan. Just call or go to statefarm.com for a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading Ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Bounty, the quicker picker upper.
Stunning design, unmatched
All right,
intelligence,
guys, Tim Kempton,
and
then
a
we'll have the,
compact ready for anything build. Sometimes exceptional is the rule. The Mercedes-Benz GLA, member of the unrivaled SUV family. Learn more at MBUSA.com.
Part of the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, we are good. We are good.
Finals team. NBA and Suns color analyst Tim Kempton now joins the Roc and Manuch show on Fox Sports 910 on FM at 99.9 HD2.
81, and as promised, Clippers have the ball to start the final front, looking to take game 1. The Suns 6-0 in their last 6 game 1.
You guys are hot.
Launches,
5 seconds.
Not a foul.
The strength of Kawhi Leonard, taking the contact, falling away.
Hell of a game for Kawhi Leonard as it all started slow as Phoenix, they just had a brutal opening 18 minutes. Couldn't get it going on either side of the ball. But made it interesting, of course. Not sure where to start, Tim. A lot here. Do you now that you've had some time to kind of digest this game? What is your biggest takeaway from what you saw and witnessed and called yesterday?
Well, the biggest takeaways, obviously, Kawhi Leonard was the best player on the court yesterday night. He played exceptionally well, and it went pretty much, the way Tyronn Lue wanted it. He knows the starting five, the Suns dominate. We know that. But where Tyronn Lue feels that he can win the game is the bench, and that's exactly what happened. The bench points were 34-10. So, you extrapolate the numbers and everything, that's 24-point difference that the starters made up and tried to. So, and the little things matter. Obviously getting rebounds, but that's all five guys. Obviously everybody's sitting there and, the DeAndre Ayton and the bigs, but who is the little guy that was getting the rebounds and keeping it alive? It was like, it was Russell Westbrook, who was not putting a body on him. So it takes five guys in the whole scenario. Kawhi Leonard was the best player. Monty needs more strength, more output from his bench. And you have to do the little things. I thought they took care of the ball well. That was good. But in that fourth quarter, they gave up 5 offensive rebounds and 7 second chance points in the fourth quarter that turned out to be huge in the victory for the Clippers.
I know a lot of people point fingers to DeAndre Ayton. He didn't have one of his better games, of course, especially on the offensive boards. Who do you feel needs to step up there? I mean, that's the kind of player you are. You're a guy in there banging it up underneath. Who would you like to see that could come in there and hopefully make a difference here?
Well, yeah, I think it's got to be a team effort. You just can't point at one guy. Listen, the Clippers are a big team. You got Ivica Zubac as a starter. You got Mason Plumlee as your secondary center. They're both big guys. They're both aggressive, and they both stay around the basket. So it's going to be everybody to go in there and help out. It's going to be Torrey Craig. It's going to be Josh Okogie. Even Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. It's going to be, when you get to the playoffs, it's a team effort. If you're waiting for one guy to do it, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. I mean, you look at everybody around the league. You have a chance to watch those games. At times it was other people. You can't expect one person, and that's the Suns need to look in the mirror as a group and say, hey, I need to do a little bit more. And everybody around that in that locker room has to go, yeah, I can see where I need to do a little bit more and help out in this scenario.
So you're telling me that Chris Paul with a team-high 10 rebounds is not going to do it for this team?
No, not at all. It's nice when you see guards hang out and gobble up those long rebounds. You love to see when they stay in there and finish the defensive possession off. That's not a bad thing. But yeah, the other guys need to step up as well. They need to do more of their job for sure.
So Tim, I guess the question is that just a want to as far as rebounding? I mean, because you're looking at what were the fundamental breakdowns for these offensive boards by the Clippers? Were the Suns anxious to get out on the break and figured since they had the big men out that they get the rebounding? And at what point did they realize, man, we need to crash the boards so these guys don't get their second chance points, that being the Clippers?
Yeah, well, throughout the beginning of the game, they did a halfway decent job. Obviously, you're going to get offensive rebounds throughout the game, and you want to minimize the second chance points, and they did that. And, all told, I think the number was only 12 second chance points off of 9 rebounds. So they had 12 offensive rebounds and for the game. So with that, anything, around 12, 13 points, you're like, okay, you can live with that. But they gave up 5 in the fourth quarter. That gave up 7 second chance points. So as a group and as a game, you can look at it. But, it's when you get the stops, when you make the plays. And the Suns needed to make the plays in the fourth quarter once the game gets tight. Let's face it, this is the 4 or 5 seed. This is the closest matchup for the teams that kind of mimic each other the most throughout the entire season. So, these games are supposed to be close. It's the playoffs, so it is those little things. And you have to do them for 48 minutes. You can't have slip-ups in the last minute of the game and all of a sudden give them 5-7 points in the last 50 seconds of the game. You have to take care of those little things.
Tim Kempton is our guest. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910 on the Wright Toyota guest line. Tim, I want to get to the center position real quick because you're so familiar with being down on that low block. I thought Zubats played tremendous, and I also thought that Mason Plumlee coming in off the bench, he went 3 for 3, had like 8 rebounds, and defended extremely well. And it just felt like that Ayton didn't have an answer for either one of those guys, and neither did Biyombo. Jock Landale tried, but I don't think he got enough playing time. Did you expect Zubats and Plumlee to have that big of impact in Game 1?
Well, they came out and did what they do during the year. They don't do anything crazy. But when they get the ball around the basket, it's usually on a high percentage pick and roll shot. You know, when they're on the offensive glass getting rebounds, because you look at it, there was a couple of times where DeAndre stepped up to stop a driving player someplace else, and that, of course, that's going to leave Zubats open on the back end if the secondary defender doesn't crack down on him. So you know, you could pick apart the numbers, but how did they come? You know, look at the film. You really have to watch the film, especially in playoff series, to see what you did wrong. But that's Zubats and Mason Plumlee's strength. They're going to play within 5 to 10 feet of the basket. Did one of their buckets come on a jump shot? Nope. Everything Zubats scored was a little jump hook. Everything that Mason Plumlee scored was a dunk or an offensive rebound.
3 minutes.
They're playing around the basket, so they're a big team. You have to put a body on it. If DeAndre rotates to help someone else out, the next guy has to crack down on them. So those are the little things that you just have to be so cognizant with in a playoff series, because you know everybody's strengths and weaknesses, and you're going to see them for at least 4 games.
Tim Monty talked about in the presser that the Suns never really had the kind of offensive flow that they had at the end of the year. Define what he's talking about, and what exactly were some of the lack of flow there in that fourth quarter.
Well, you could go back to the first quarter where Kevin Durant goes 0 for 4 and Devin Booker goes 3 of 8. They were all shots they were very capable of. Devin had a bunch of mid-range shots that were coming up short. So when you don't get that confidence early, everything tends to be a struggle. Now you're playing catch-up.
2 minutes.
And you're like, oh, we got to match the Clippers. We can't let them go on it. And to their credit, in that third quarter, they looked like the Suns. They came out. They had a 9-point lead at one time, but then the Clippers answered, and it's 81-81 going into the fourth quarter. So at spurts they had it, but it looked like the Clippers had it for longer periods of time, and that's why they came out with the win.
Tim, I know all the talk about Kevin Durant and him being on this team and them being undefeated with him, and we were having a discussion before you came on about I believe that this is still Book's team, and it feels like some fans out there think, oh no, this is Kevin Durant's team because of who Kevin Durant is. But at the end of the game, who do you want to give the ball to? I mean, there's really no right or wrong answer, but right now, under the circumstances, who are you giving the ball to?
Well, again, it's for me, it's circumstantial. Who's the matchup?
Okay.
I think Devin Booker still, because of the people that are going to guard him. They had Eric Gordon on him a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
That's an advantage to Devin Booker right there. Like in the instance on that last play, Devin Booker had it. Who was guarding him? Russell Westbrook. What does Russell Westbrook do? He's an elite athlete, and in the playoffs, we saw throughout the first 47 minutes how physical they're letting him play. If I was Booker, I may have. Hey, I know Devin Booker's a great player, and you want to make those plays, but there might have been a better matchup for the Suns on that last play when Devin Booker tried to take Russell Westbrook off the dribble. So for me, it's circumstances. Do I like Devin? Do I think Devin made a poor choice in going at Russell Westbrook? No. But when you can look at it the next day and see film and watch it, now you and I could have all the right answers, and that's what I'm saying to your question. But no, I still, like Devin Booker, but yeah, you want the best opportunity. So if you have a better if when they had Russell Westbrook on Kevin Durant, what were they doing? They were going to Kevin Durant. There was a couple of times in the low post, a couple of times where Kevin took him off the dribble and just shot over him. So that's the chess game that you play in the playoffs, is trying to find your best strength to use to your best advantage.
He's one of the best. Tim Kempton, color analyst for the Phoenix Suns. Tim, appreciate it as always. We'll be listening tomorrow, man. Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
Tim Kempton joining us here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on the Right Toyota guest line, and he is brought to you by today All City Towing. As they continue to grow, they got new vehicles that they're adding to their fleet, and they need to hire. So go to their website, allcitytowing.com. You can find out all the information about their incredible benefits, their 401k, and all that good stuff. Head it to allcitytowing.com. That's allcitytowing.com, and just search careers. Well, we got some NFL news. The first major domino in terms of 2023 quarterback deals has fallen, and in a historic fashion. And a star NFL quarterback had a scary golf accident this weekend. Tell you about that next. We're going to talk some football, believe it or not, here on April 17th. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from the seat.
Hey, Rock, I'm going to have you cut a new promo for me.
It's the Odd Couple. With Jimmy B, broadcasting live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is a sports fan's paradise.
All right, guys, 5 seconds. You're hot.
Into Fox Sports 910, live from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Tomorrow, we will be out at Barrio Queen in Scottsdale from 1 to 4. Hopefully, you come out and join us as we continue our partnership with El Bandito Tequila. The first major domino in terms of 2023 quarterback deals has fallen, as the Eagles today announced that they agreed to terms on an extension with Jalen Hurts. NFL Network reporting that the contract is 5 years in length, Base value of $255 million, which means he is now the highest paid player in NFL history for today. And that brings him an average of $51 million per season. The extension includes $179.3 million in guarantees. There's a no trade clause, which is a first for the Eagles. They don't do that. Another $15 million in incentives, so it could push his earnings upwards to $54 million a year. He had 1 year left on his rookie contract, so meaning he will be on the books for Philly through 2028. So the Eagles have lost a bunch of guys on the defensive side, but they have a hell of a foundation on that offensive side. So the foreseeable future looks pretty good for this Eagles team.
There's probably the latest comp from one Lamar Jackson. Not that he's I think he's a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson, but therein lies, guys. There's a comp for Lamar in reference to this Baltimore Ravens team to say, okay, he's making this. He's been to a Super Bowl, had a hell of a season. Here's my number. So somewhere in the middle, I think, lies the truth for Lamar Jackson, how the Baltimore Ravens settle that, if they do settle that. But it's also, if somebody's going to trade for Lamar Jackson and they're going to give up, they feel, a couple of first-round picks and feel that eventually he's going to want to get extended, there's a comp for them too. And they might go, man, this thing's a little bit richer than we want when they initially looked at Lamar Jackson. So that's how I kind of see this whole Lamar Jackson potential signing by the Ravens look.
To me, Lamar Jackson has two choices. One, he can sit out, or two, he can play under that Baltimore Ravens tender that he has for the one season and then try to go through all this silliness again. That's the way to me it's going to play out.
And when you look at Jalen Hurts, all right, let's just for the heck of it, when you look at the top quarterbacks right now, and where his money fits in. Of course, he's number one, but I think Patrick Mahomes, is clearly number one. Okay, then I think this is where it gets a little challenging.
Joe Burrow, definitely number two.
See, I don't agree with that. I'm probably going to
definitely number two.
See,
you mean as far as the best quarterback in the league?
Quarterbacks?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm going Joe Burrow.
I think you can make a case.
I agree with Jimmy.
Did we ask for your opinion?
Welcome to the show, Jack.
Well, hey, beauty's in the eye of the beholder right now.
Yeah, it is.
And you're wearing your Bengals shirt, so obviously you're going to say Joe Burrow.
Oh, yeah, brother.
In reference to where you're at there too. You look at as far as ranking the quarterbacks. I mean, right now, Mahomes, I feel still number one guy in the league when you take a good look at it.
I don't know. I think if I was going to start a team tomorrow, I'm going to take Josh Allen before Joe Burrow. I don't think you're going to lose either way.
Well, I agree with that.
So I got him number two.
Okay.
All right. I mean,
it's apples and oranges here. We're tossing them like this. I mean, I'm with you 100% on
Joe Burrow makes $9 million a year.
Yep.
And he'll soon making a lot more money. Obviously,
he will. Oh, do you know that the guaranteed money that Hurts has,
$179,
yes, is less than what Kyler Murray's guaranteed money is?
See, it's interesting. You see the numbers, how they're fudged. $180 million here, $200 guaranteed here. You look at Deshaun Watson's contract, it's $255 guaranteed.
Exactly.
Period, which a lot of the owners, that's why they had so much heartburn.
It's a guarantee, because we can't look at the year, right?
No, you can't.
Right. Because if you look at it right now, Jalen Hurts is number one at 51.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers is 50.3, so
Okay.
we just got above that. Russell Wilson, who we're going to talk about here in a moment, $48.5 million. Kyler's at 46.1. Deshaun Watson with the Browns, 46. Patrick's at 45. Josh, 43. And then there's a three-way tie for 8. Stafford, Prescott, Daniel Jones, who just got paid, and Derek Carr, or excuse me, Stafford, Prescott, Jones are all $40 million.
And the dysfunctionality for Kyler Murray to be in the top 5 doesn't make any kind of sense.
It doesn't.
So the Cardinals overpaid on that extension. Okay, all that being said, when you look at the ranking of the monies, and as far as those comps are concerned, when that quarterback's looking for an extension, I think it was reported that Jack just showed me here that Lamar Jackson been reported a 5-year, $200 million contract.
It's not 5 years. They don't know the term, how long it is, but it's $200 million guaranteed.
3 minutes.
But it's a longer deal. The other one was $133 guaranteed, but it was a 5-year deal, and he declined it. So now the Ravens are offering a $200 million more money, but longer term.
See, now what he's looking at is what we just talked about. Okay, so you're looking at the value of this contract to Deshaun Watson, who still seems to be the comp of 255 guaranteed, if he feels he's as good or worth that $200 million to him, I can almost assure you, to Lamar Jackson, is a slap in the face. It's like, all right, here you go. So there should be some kind of negotiations going back and forth with that, because it's all about the guaranteed money, Rock, as you alluded to. That's the whole thing. Now, if you get the full contract guaranteed, that's what Lamar Jackson's shooting for, because Deshaun Watson's contract is fully guaranteed, where some of these other guys, it's the guaranteed money versus their year in and year out salary. So that's what everybody shoots for, because a lot of times he's going to make $250 million, 5-year contract, on average 51.
2 minutes.
What's the guarantee that he's going to get if for some reason his third year into the contract he breaks his leg or he can't play anymore?
Hey, over the weekend, the Denver Broncos avoided a complete disaster as Russell Wilson was playing golf, and he flipped his golf cart into a bunker. I guess it went viral, and some pretty funny stuff on Twitter, but I guess he didn't see the bunker when he was looking for his ball. It went right into the bunker.
Man. Yeah.
We've all been there before.
I haven't flipped the golf cart.
Oh, I have.
I've been in the bunker.
Totally
You have flipped the golf cart?
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
totally, multiple times.
The only thing I've done that...
but a lot of it wasn't, like, on purpose.
Yeah. The only thing I've done is drive my golf cart. You know, when you get your club in your left hand, you're going to go hit your shot, and you kind of drag it along. Was to get it stuck under the tire in the front tire, and my golf cart did an about almost dang near 360, and I flew right. It didn't fly out of the golf cart, but I'm like, I don't drag my golf club anymore when I'm driving a cart along the sidewalk.
Hey, real quick, today is, I should
1
say,
minute?
this week, big week for the Arizona Coyotes, as the city of Tempe will mail out the ballots for residents to vote on the on this $2.1 billion deal for the new arena. The project, of course, is a 16-seat arena, entertainment sector, hotel, private residence. So we will see. So it'll go out on the 19th to all the Tempe residents, and the vote will officially be scheduled for May 16th. So we'll have more on that coming up
30
later in the week. Coming up in hour number 2, we'll get you caught up in some more of the top stories that we didn't get into in the first hour. We also got some Suns to talk about, the Westbrook impact, what happened at halftime, the run-in with the fan in the VIP area, and who's at fault there. You can point your finger at the Phoenix Suns
10.
for that, as well as we will catch up with one Craig Fouey from ABC 15. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on Fox Sports 910.
Rock for RightToyota.com. At Right Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on RightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at RightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at RightToyota.com.
It's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We love providing great food for family gatherings, parties, even work meetings. And we make it simple.
We sure do, no matter what the occasion. At Venezia's, we make catering easy. You can see our entire catering menu online at venezias.com. Or let us know how we can help at one of our 6 locations, including the newest, now open in Chandler.
We'd love to bring Venezia's to your next party. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition.
Hear new music first on your free iHeartRadio app.
This is Lars, James from Metallica here.
And this is iHeartRadio.
What's up? This is Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park.
With the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah. Playing now on your completely free iHeartRadio app, where the biggest stars in the world connect with you.
That was a great dinner.
So great. Wait, where'd you park the car?
Oh, the one I just sold at Carvana.
What? When did you do that?
When you were still looking at the menu. I went on Carvana.com, and all I had to do was enter the license plate or VIN, answer a few questions, and got a real offer in seconds.
They picked up the car already?
No, I parked around the corner. But they are picking it up tomorrow and paying me right on the spot.
Oh, no wonder you picked up the check.
Yeah, about that. Thought we were going halvesies.
Sell your car to Carvana. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get a real offer in seconds.
You don't need to get personal, like revealing orange juice commercials make you cry. To get the State Farm personal price plan, just call or go to statefarm.com for a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Duke Sports Grill on Miller and McDowell. 12 pool tables and 3 shuffleboard tables.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
Coldest draft beer in town.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
3 patios right on the greenbelt. 1 non-smoking.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
More than 60 TVs playing your favorite sports.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
Saturdays and Sundays, build your own Bloody Mary bar.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
Where Dukes? Where Dukes? Miller and McDowell. Scottsdale.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
Broadcasting from the Superbook.com studio. Superbook Sports, now live. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
LSU transfer guard Adam Miller is committed to Sun Devil men's basketball. He averaged over 11 points a game as part of the Tigers' starting 5. Merrill Kelly will be on the mound for the Diamondbacks for today's series debut against the Cardinals in St. Louis. The Cardinals add to their quarterback room with the signing of veteran Jeff Driscoll to a 1-year contract. He's set to battle it out with Colt McCoy and David Blau for the starting spot, while Kyler Murray continues his rehab. And the Suns had a not-so-good performance in their postseason debut. That Game 1 loss to the Clippers. They'll get a chance to even the series tomorrow. I'm Frank Harity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword HAPPY at foxsports910.com. That's HAPPY at foxsports910.com.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
A nice day on tap for your Monday. Look for mostly sunny skies. Temperatures getting up to about 91 degrees. And then for tonight, clear skies with those temperatures dipping down to around 61 degrees. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing. Summit Racing has parts and accessories to keep your truck rolling right. Parts like lift kits, intakes, exhaust, tires, lighting, and more. From custom grills to tonneau covers, Summit Racing has you covered. SummitRacing.com. Everything you need for anything you drive.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour.
I'm going to play these highlights, guys, just so you're not caught off guard.
Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
Rojas at third, smothers it. There's one. And they've got the double play.
Rock, I'm still working on grabbing that Suns audio you sent me a little bit ago.
Yeah,
so I'm going to work on that, okay?
I don't think we need it. Inning against San Diego.
Well, I'll just grab just in case.
All adds up to a 5-0 Diamondbacks win. 81. And as promised, Clippers have the ball to start the final front, looking to take Game 1. The Suns 6-0 in their last 6 Game 1s. Leonard launches, connects, counted on a foul.
You guys are hot. Of Kawhi Leonard taking the contact, falling away.
Yes, D-backs and Suns. That's the top story right now on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B out here at the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Your home for all Major League Baseball and NBA, and now NHL playoffs that get underway tonight. You got all the screens, the big screens here, 46 of them to be exact, plus 2 theater quality projection screens, and a sports book with self-service kiosks. Opens every day at 8 a.m. So the Suns lose Game 1, as we all know, and the two teams were tied at 81 at the end of the third, but then the Clippers outscored the Suns 34-29 in the fourth. Kevin Durant fell just short of a triple-double with 27 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists. Devin had 26, and they'll do it again tomorrow, 6:30 at the Footprint Arena. And I don't know if we're going to see another Westbrook-type game. You think we could see that again? You think he can have that much energy?
Defensively,
he was so impactful.
He'll have the energy. What I want to find out is, does he shoot it any better from the floor?
Oh my God!
Does it matter?
Because but if
3 of 19.
But if he does, let's say he goes 8 of 18. Well, look at the points now that he is adding, and he's going to come with the same energy.
I think the biggest concern, obviously, is defending Kawhi Leonard and rebounding. Period.
Yeah.
And you look.
They never would double team him.
They did.
Well, that was interesting.
I watch him. I'm like, dude, he's the best player on the court.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would take him over Kevin Durant.
Oh, who? Kawhi Leonard? Oh, I would. I would. I think over. I would. I'd take KD.
Hot take. I don't know. Yeah, Kevin. I mean, I like guys that can win the NBA Finals, and of course he's done it, but he had a lot of help. Kawhi's done it everywhere without a lot of help. San Antonio, and then of course Toronto, and then KD. He's done it with Golden State, and he's lost 7 straight playoff games. 7 straight playoff games. Do I say that again?
Yeah,
7. So I think you can make an argument.
Yeah, well, again, still good.
One-on-one, I think I'm taking Kawhi.
Yeah, Kawhi is one of the best. Let's just say it right there.
Yeah.
And then you look at KD.
He was the best player on the court yesterday, clearly.
He was. He was yesterday. So I think at that point, and I got to imagine that you look at Monty Williams with this team, in that fourth quarter, he's going to look at, okay, what could we not do? Well, the bench couldn't score. You gave up too many offensive rebounds. I think it was 5. You had no answer for Kawhi Leonard. So what are some of the things you're going to have to do besides going back and forth, and being able to understand what the mismatches are when you look at who gets that last shot? So I just think that the other thing, too, is we talked about CP3, his lack of scoring in that game. Yeah, he got plenty of rebounds. He got 10 rebounds, 11 assists, but he didn't score. And he missed a lot of easy shots. So I think that the 1 week off, I felt it hurt the Suns more so than the Clippers. But I think the Clippers kind of just answered the challenge, figuring, hey, look, nobody's giving us that chance against the Suns. Everybody's saying the Suns in 5, 7, and 6. I'm one of them, said Suns in 5.
Not everybody.
But I think that a lot of, they take that to heart. And I especially think, you said, Jimmy, down low. Mm-hmm. They better have an answer for Zubac and Plumlee, because they had their way down low. And your boy DA's got to get this, like, this is my area. This is my paint versus taking and missing those mid-range jumpers. And where was the pick and roll in that fourth quarter, too?
I never saw that, and I was highly disappointed that they did not utilize that against the Clippers in the fourth quarter.
I think a lot of it is because there's big guys in there.
Hey, look, Plumlee and Zubac, they take up space.
Oh, they're monsters.
They are. They take up a lot of space.
We've always said that that's an area that the Suns have always needed help. They need a guy to bang down there, and clearly DeAndre's not.
And I wonder if it's one of those things where they're backing off more on DA, on CP3 versus DA, because they know that CP3's struggling with the shot, with his shooting. So they go, okay, you can have that shot.
Boy, but he can rebound.
Yeah, well, that's it. And like Westbrook. All right, if you can't make the shots, if you're out there building condos all day long, then what other area can you help us at? He did clearly with defense, 3 blocks, that block at the end of the game. And just being more forceful. And he was fired up about it, too. I mean, these guys read. Guys, they read the newspaper.
They read it.
No, they don't.
No, they don't read the newspaper.
They read the social media. They read Twitter.
Yeah,
Twitter,
Instagram.
All the above. Yeah,
That's it.
They're aware of what's being said about them out there.
Heck yeah.
They're totally aware of that.
We'll get more into that in just a moment. Of course, Suns talk about it. How about the D-backs as they avoided a sweep on the road, as they shut out the Marlins 5-0 yesterday in Miami after suffering 2 straight losses. Corbin Carroll hit his 4th homer of the season, finished a 2 for 4, 2 RBIs, and a pair of runs scored. Zach Allen, again, just lights out, struck out 7 over 6 2/3 scoreless innings. He's now 2-1 on the season. D-backs still atop of the National League West at 9-7. They'll be in St. Louis this afternoon. I think it's 4:45 start, first pitch, 3-game set, and Merrill Kelly gets the nod in this opener.
How about Corbin Carroll, rookie?
Yeah,
hit 288, got the 4 dingers.
Why you paid him?
6 stolen bases, and
he's really expected.
He seems to be the most consistent guy in that lineup right now, as far as that. Josh Rojas is swinging a hot bat as well too. But yeah, what a great development to commit to this young man and to see this now. It'll be after the All-Star break, guys, to see how teams adjust to him. He's having his way sometimes, some of this pitching, how they pitched him the second time around, third time around, fourth time around, and after the All-Star break to see how good of a player this young man was.
Well, once a team gets a book on you, then things change dramatically, and then he'll have to make adjustments when he steps in the batter's box. The thing that I find intriguing so far about the D-backs, 7-9, just
9-7.
9-7. Thank you. 9-7. Still above 500, and this is a team that we thought was going to. Okay, they're going to get
the cellar.
Yeah, they're going to get their hat handed to them game and game.
The Rockies are going to fight for the basement.
That's it. And here they are, still over 500.
The quest for Lord Stanley's Cup begins today. I got a pair of games from each conference officially kicks off. Best of 7, of course, which is always good. The Islanders will head to Carolina to face the Hurricanes. That's in the Metropolitan Division. That's a showdown as Carolina finished as the number 1 seed, while New York earned a number 1 wild card spot. And then the best team in hockey right now is the Bruins, and they have the Panthers in Boston for the Atlantic Division fight, as Boston hopes to add the trophy after they've had an historic season, while Florida looks to play spoiler as the second wild card team. And then in the West, 3rd-seeded Minnesota Wild. They're in Dallas to play number 2-seeded Stars in the Central Division, and the night ends with a marquee matchup in the Pacific as rivals Connor McDavid and the 2nd-seeded Oilers will face off against the number 3 LA Kings. So nothing better. I know we love NBA hockey, or NBA hockey. We love NBA playoffs, but there's nothing better than NHL playoffs.
You're not kidding.
Hands down.
You're not kidding.
Just the level is just ramps up so high. I had a great ending in the RBC Heritage yesterday as Matt Fitzpatrick got the win, taking down defending champion Jordan Spieth in a playoff. You got to love playoffs in golf, and you got to give the PGA a lot of credit with all the talk about the LIV and this and that. The numbers, the PGA Tour, the television ratings, and just the amount of players that are fighting for a top 3 spot each and every week is there. The leaderboards are phenomenal. It's been so much fun watching this golf. I mean, it's made for TV. I mean, I know, like friends of mine, we're going to the so-called, what do you call it? The refreshment stand to watch golf because, hey, we're betting too, but there's just so much intrigue.
Yes.
Whereas LIV, if that's on, you couldn't tell me if I got some guys that are just so into the LIV. The LIV's funny because I got some friends, and I know a couple of them are listening. I don't care. They're all like taking pictures when they're out somewhere and they see a LIV shirt or a LIV hat or a banner. Boy. They're trying to really be a spokesperson for the LIV, right? And it's like, no one really cares about the LIV.
They don't.
There's a few. It's that 1%. Sure. Like in anything else, right? Yeah. It's that 1-2% that really gives it, you know what? So they're trying to be as loud as they can so they can try to make us try to buy into their nonsense.
I don't understand the team format that they have. The golf you watch, and then you got this team, the Dragons taking on the Fire. The only time that I pay attention to the LIV is when they're in the majors and just see how they match up, pardon the pun, against what's going on. But I think that was the one reason for the Masters' eyes, viewership. Okay, this so-called competition or rivalry, whatever you call it. And on top of that, I think it was interesting how Jordan Spieth, 2 weeks in a row, he might be the hottest golfer in golf.
He is.
I mean, what he finished last week
is pretty good right now.
And then how he finished yesterday, you go, wow, this kid's on fire. And I think he is a guy that a lot of golf folks love to follow and want to see him get back to where he was several years ago.
I think you do have to credit LIV in a standpoint where the purses are bigger.
Of course.
I mean, Matt Fitzpatrick made $400,000 more than Rahm last week at the Masters. That also plays into fact.
It's happening here is rule changes, just like we discussed several weeks back when we had a LIV conversation about when the ABA was popular and they had the 3-point line and the NBA did not.
So how do you know that? Was that back in like some? You had to go to the library to get that information. The ABA, what's that stand for?
American Basketball Association.
Okay, back in the 60s?
No.
By the way,
yeah,
the Charles Barkley, Julius Erving program on, I think it's called Sir Charles and the Doctor. I watched it yesterday on NBA TV. Must-see TV.
Is it good? Oh, it's
must-see
I saw only
TV.
a little bit. Yes, I agree.
We're at CAZ Sports Bar. Charles was in here last week putting his bets on the Kings. Yep. Looking good so far.
Yeah,
he is. as that bet. But that commercial with the younger Charles in the Suns uniform, that is freaking priceless.
I got to tune that in. Go watch the NBA TV. Check that out.
It's really good. But my point that I was making was that's okay. It was a good story. The ABA forced the NBA to adopt the 3-point line. So what Jack's just referenced, the money was so much bigger on the Live Tour. PGA had to kind of, at least they're not matching it, but they have upped the ante tremendously.
I think the Live has helped with the purses. That's it.
Yes.
I would agree. I agree with that. Because Brooks Koepka, John Rahm on Masters Sunday, I'm still tuning in just like it. I don't care if Brooks is a Live guy or not. You're still watching it. So, hey, so much for the box score as Russell Westbrook went 3 of 9. But it was the impact of that 3 of 19. I should say 3 of 19. And you couldn't believe it. But who's at fault for his run-in at halftime? If you didn't hear what happened, we're getting into that next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports Night.
Truck season is going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. Great offers going on now on trucks, SUVs, crossovers, and cars. See your Valley Chevy dealers for great deals happening right now during truck season, or visit valleychevy.com. That's valleychevy.com.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Cream locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of Game Day.
Hey, it's Gross. Join me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11 to 1 live from the Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona for Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar.
In this week's Marketers Report, Patrizio Spagnoletto, Global Chief Marketing Officer, Direct-to-Consumer for Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on building trust.
Trust is a really hard thing to build and a really easy thing to destroy, and we have to be very respectful about that. Our partnership with iHeart has really helped us build that trust and that relationship with the on-air talent.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. I gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your pin. You know my car's my happy place. Keep a smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Meant for mornings. The Drive with Jody Ayler. Listen tomorrow, 6 to 10 on Fox Sports 910. Back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, broadcasting live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is a sports fan's paradise. You are locked in to Fox Sports 910, live from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking about that. I mean, he was just too good for us defensively tonight. And so you're not going to make shots every night. And, he shot the ball well since he's been with us, and so you never want to penalize a guy for missing shots, but you can penalize a guy when they're not playing hard. They miss assignments and things like that. So defensively, he was on point tonight. And so, like I said before, his shot doesn't mean that much to us. He's making shots, okay, great, but everything else he brings with his passing, with his defense, with his pace, his toughness, things like that.
Guys are hot, 5 seconds.
And so that's what he was able to do outside of, without making shots. That's what he was able to do tonight.
Coach Luke talking about Russell Westbrook, who did not look good in the box score, bricking his way to 3 for 19. And there were some classic Westbrook bricks. There were some air balls that kind of got masqueraded as an assist. There was, hitting the rims, the backboard bullets, the bunnies, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they won the game and he had an impactful night, which didn't look good, but he was everywhere. He pressured. He was on the defensive side. He crashed the boards on the offensive side, and he forced the tempo in this game. And I think that was a big difference, and he was fun to watch. I mean, I hate the guy, but damn, you would love a guy like that on your team.
Don't you find it interesting what Tyrone Lue said about him? We don't care about his points.
Yeah, he's not there to score.
No, he went to another level. How different is that from when he was on the Lakers, when he was on Washington, when he was at OKC?
Okay.
It's a total. It's a total difference.
But what Ty Lue said, as long as
he's doing the other thing,
defense, not missing assignments, doing all the thing. Now, obviously, Tyronn Lue would have an issue if he wasn't doing all the above.
Correct.
If he wasn't shooting, but yeah, when he misses, oh man, Jimmy. He has a hard time in the water from the boat sometimes. it's just amazing. The guy.
It's like, is it a pass or is that a shot?
Right? I mean, well, but you watched him with his triple doubles for so many years, especially at OKC.
Yeah.
Has he lost his shot? Is he just? He's lost confidence in it, because I can't remember a time where we've seen so consistently him have the bad nights that he's had, but he's made it up for his defensive play.
So at halftime, he had a run-in with a Suns fan. So in the arena, and it was all COVID. This all started in COVID.
I have the sound, Rock.
Yeah, yeah. We'll play this for you first, and then I'll explain. But this is basically Westbrook at halftime as he's entering the court, go back on the court, and he's cutting through the VIP section where the players need to go to get to the court, to get to the tunnel. And here is one little moment that he had with a Suns fan.
Watch your mouth. Take it like a man. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. That's right like that. Watch your mouth. Be about it.
Yeah, watch your mouth, mother. You know what? And that occurred at the halftime, and he got the last laugh with the win. But the Suns could prevent this. Players don't have to cut through there. And the reason why they do now, they used to never do that. But when COVID happened, that's when that all started. And, it's a recipe for disaster. It's a bad look for the fans, Suns fans, and it's a bad look for the Phoenix Suns organization, because it is an easy fix. It's an easy fix. And you see that more, and, you pay good money to be close to these players. But you saw the video. Most of you saw it. There's no reason why guys can be pounding 10 beers and it's halftime, and you see a guy like Russell Westbrook, a guy who's easy to not like, right? If he's on the opposing team.
And he's been sensitive to the term Westbrook for a long time.
Yeah,
a lot of fans, and he's walking by, and this guy's going, "Hey, Westbrook," and blah blah blah. And at that point, if I'm a player, I just those fans are right there.
You can't.
You just ignore it. You go
you
to the
say that,
you go to the locker
but when
room,
you're getting it 24/7, you could be Mr. Teacher right now to your kids. But come on, it's life. If you're getting beat up 24/7, it gets to the point where you're just going to explode.
You know what? If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Okay, Rob, really?
You can't take the heat.
All right, Manuch.
You know what?
Come on.
There's a lot of guys who get chants and barbs. He hears it in the stands. Hears it everywhere. Just
it's not easy. You can't ignore it.
You have to ignore it. Those are the fans.
No, you can't. Obviously, you can't.
It looked bad. As bad as it looked for this guy in the Suns, it looked worse for Westbrook.
It did?
Excuse me. To go ahead.
Why look worse on him?
Because he's encountering a fan. He should just move.
All he did is tell this guy to shut the you-know-what up.
Yep. Just keep moving. He could say,
watch your mouth, mother, That's all he did.
Why
get like he swung at him?
That guy, guy
had a beer in his hand. You don't know how many beers he had.
Okay, then to your point, just make sure the Suns fans are away from that.
Well, that's the Suns' job.
We are always taught exactly right. Okay, but the other time for Westbrook is to move on, ignore the noise, and go prove him wrong. We were always taught that. If they're going to holler at you and banner you, go prove them wrong. And then you can point to the scoreboard at the end of the game for any fans that still feel that you're Westbrooking out there, whatever. Kid had a hell of a game defensively.
You do not need to have the opposing team run through the club section there.
I agree with that.
Plain and simple.
Okay.
It's just stupid.
And it's on their part to allow them to come through the shortcut and go back that way to the locker room and then be exposed to those fans, because you never know what somebody's going to say.
Or do. You've been drinking, you're having a good time, you're like, oh man, there's Westbrook. Let me have some fun with him.
Well, and he did, obviously, but he struck a nerve with the guy. But you look at the Dallas Cowboys, when they come in and out of their locker room, you got the fans lined up right there. They got security. They're lined up and they're walking through.
That's completely different.
That's the home team.
That's different.
I get it.
Home team versus home team. Not to mention they're going through a tunnel. This is literally walking in between.
I get it.
You could shake his hand. You could sign an autograph. But
who's to say if somebody from the Cowboys isn't really screwing up, or Dak Prescott's got 6 picks or whatever, somebody goes walking through there.
You can't touch him.
I get it.
That's the big difference. Is what I'm saying, Manuch.
But they had guys in front of him. He had a security guard that's right there. This guy wasn't going to get to him.
Oh my gosh!
That security guard was right
You could
there.
have totally got to him.
Well,
have you seen the video?
No, I did. I've seen it 2 or 3 times.
Okay, then you saw there were so many multiple people walking in front of Westbrook when he's going to the tunnel. You and I and Westbrook could have walked to the court together, and we could have been hand in hand.
Then if that's going to be pause for concern, then the Suns need to take care of that and not allow that to happen again.
I promise you they did.
It doesn't.
Or they better.
For Westbrook, just keep moving, ignore the noise, be a pro, and don't go. You don't have to banter with everybody coming forward.
I mean, you don't know, Manuch. You don't know what. I mean, somebody could say something to you. You don't even know what it is. It sparks something, and you just flip. The Italian in you just gets all worked up.
I've had a lot of stuff.
I know.
I had a lot of stuff said to me. I kept moving, ignored it, just kept warming up.
Not everybody's wired like Manuch. You are by far the nicest guy anybody knows in the world.
But if they
are not your typical former professional athlete.
But I always say
You're
this.
just not. You grew up in a small town in Erie, Pennsylvania, and grew up going to. No, you were born in Erie, and then basically you went to
Yuma.
No, but before that he had nuns as
he did
as teachers. I mean, these people you don't know where they came up.
The lesson learned here, but I think everybody. I think for Westbrook specifically, they probably won't go that route again. And number 2, the Suns have got to be aware of, okay, if that's going to be a detriment and the people that enter that area there, if there's any disconcerting remarks to any of the opposing players, then who's ever security has that right to remove them from that area that they pay big bucks for. Okay.
You can fix it.
Solved. Move on. You know?
Can fix the area. You put up yellow tape. You put the sanctions up, and then you just make it an area like you see in a hockey game.
I get it.
This is such an easy fix. I hope that we hear from someone, some reporter, Dwayne Rankin or somebody in the Republic that's down there and say, hey, they fixed it. This is what they did on Tuesday night.
Yeah, but it's still as
you never know what can happen.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, I think more so than having barbs with people is somebody that could, you're talking about security, that they make sure that when they come out that way, that they rope that off and don't allow anybody near them. They can holler all they want going by, but that is a player. If you're going to take that route, buyer beware, as I always say.
There was an Astros fan that has been banned from Minute Maid Park. He ran on the field with a beer in his hand on Friday's game against the Rangers. It was the 9th inning. The Astros were trailing. This guy felt that, hey, I'm going to boost this team's morale, right? I'm going to run out there. This is my 6th beer of the evening, and I'm going to run out there and see if I can make this happen. And you're seeing it more and more. And I got to tell you, I think these security guards, they all are in some group chat, on Facebook, and they all want to see who can get the best tackle because it seems like every week there's a better tackle than the last one.
And we saw was it E40? Is that the guy's name that's always at the
Rappers? The State Warriors fan.
He's been there forever, and they removed him.
That was at Sacramento.
Yeah, the gal three rows behind him. She's shooting barbs at him. He just kind of looks back at her and says this and this and. He's never been tossed. But
to your point, you just got to ignore it.
You should ignore it.
You shouldn't say anything.
Yeah, I know.
You just ignore it.
But he looked back. But here's the thing. He didn't say anything derogatory. Just
you weren't there. You weren't there. You don't know what's said ever. We only hear the headline, right? I mean, come on, let's be honest. There's so much that goes on. Even what we saw last night with Westbrook. There could have been more that was said. Maybe when he came off the court, there were some things maybe said by that same individual. We don't know.
Ignore the noise. Move on. Go win your game.
Like it's that easy.
Well, Rock, it is. You have to ignore it. As a pro player, you can. As a professional athlete, you're human. You hear it. You absorb it. Hell, there's many a time was like, hey, Manucci. Don't be afraid to mix in a completion once in a while.
Why would you get mad at that? But if this guy is calling your mom out, or remember all that stuff, your mom wears it. Remember as a kid, your mom wears cowboy boots.
I got to the sideline, I looked at the guy, and I saw it. I smiled. Said, "Yeah, you're right. I'll try to do my best." That's how you diffuse that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's thrown at you when you're on the sidelines warming up. You have to ignore that stuff. As long as they're not throwing stuff at you, I think security's right there.
A little bit of a different level. Yeah, you on the sideline at a preseason game.
But it's the mental piece of
the NBA playoffs.
And in a VIP club section where it's open bar.
Hey, Be the adult, move on, ignore the noise, and go prove it on the court. That's what we always say. Go prove it on the court.
I do think
he did.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Absolutely.
He
I
did.
do think that you get to the point. I don't know how you can handle it. If like for instance, a Westbrook, he's going to continue to get just beat up left and right. I'm sure you get to a boiling point where I'm just telling this guy, watch your mouth, mother.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay, but you don't have to interact with those fans. You just don't.
Hey, join us tomorrow for our El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. We'll be at the Barrio Queen, 1 to 4 at the Old Town Scottsdale location. We've not been there yet. We encourage you to stop by, have some incredible, authentic Mexican food, and try the new El Bandito Yankee Tequila. That's tomorrow from Barrio Queen in Old Town Scottsdale. Every Tuesday, we are at a different location. Like here, we're always on a Monday at CAZ Sportsbook, and we're going to catch up with Casey in the.
I believe it's Casey
at 2:45.
One of the fine other book managers that's here at the CAZ Sports Bar. We'll do that here in a second. Get his latest on NHL getting started up and the remainder of the playoffs with the Suns and et al.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see if there was a late run with the Suns being down with 5.5. I can't remember.
5.
Was it 5? That you're saying as Suns fan, they're going to come back. I'm going to put my money in, and you do a second half bet. I think a lot of people probably consider that because I don't think a lot of fans here, at least Suns fans, thought they were going to lose game 1. And I think a little humble pie. I do. I mean, I was thinking watching that game. I'm thinking of you, Manuch, because you're like, it's Clippers, no problem. Everyone's thinking about the finals. Are they good enough to make the finals? And I kept saying, I've been saying it for 2 weeks. Let's see if they get out of the first round first. We can't just assume that. Anyway, Craig Philly, ABC 15. Factor Philly's next as we continue from the CAZ Sportsbook. It's Rock.
What's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix?
The Suns were back on the practice court today, ready to turn the page from yesterday's loss to the Clippers to tomorrow's Game 2. LSU transfer guard Adam Miller is committed to Sun Devil men's basketball. He averaged over 11 points a game as part of the Tigers' starting 5. Former Sun Devil guard DJ Horn announced his commitment to North Carolina State basketball. The Diamondbacks put Merrill Kelly on the mound for today's series debut against the Cardinals. And the Cardinals add to their quarterback room. They've signed veteran Jeff Driscoll to a 1-year contract. He'll battle with Colt McCoy and David Blau for the starting spot while Kyler Murray rehabs. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
You hear it now, the lawyer ads, and I'll repeat it in this one. All personal injury attorneys are not the same. Sure, we all claim to do the same things, but that's where the similarities between Lerner & Rowe and all other law firms end. Lerner & Rowe was recently named the second most influential law firm in the country, and we've collected billions of dollars for our clients, with over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. If you want real results after you've been hurt in a car wreck, call Lerner & Rowe today.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
The right price, the right selection. It's all now at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Stop by today and see why Wright Toyota continues to be Arizona's top Toyota dealership, located just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard and online at wrighttoyota.com.
My buddy just sold his car to Carvana. I should look into that. Then maybe I can finally afford to buy Jasmine that engagement ring. Let's see. Carvana.com. Sell my car. Enter my license plate or VIN. Answering a few questions. Get my offer. Now that's an offer. I'll definitely be able to afford that ring and finally propose.
What was that?
A proposal from Carvana for my car.
Carvana just proposed in seconds? Didn't take them 6 years.
Sell your car at Carvana.com today and get a real offer in seconds.
You don't need to get personal, like revealing orange juice commercials make you cry. To get the State Farm personal price plan, just call or go to statefarm.com for a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Style runs in the family. Athleticism runs in the family. Extraordinary runs in the family. The Mercedes-Benz range of SUVs. Learn more at MBUSA.com or test drive one at your local dealer.
It's time for Fact or Phooey with ABC 15 Sports Director Craig Phooey. Phooey joins the guys each Monday to break down the top stories of the weekend.
Guys, hot 5 seconds.
Manuch writes the questions.
Now here's ABC 15's Craig Fooey.
Fooey joins us now on the right Toyota guest line here on Fox Sports 910. How's your Monday going, buddy?
Hey, just got back from the Suns. Was up at practice today, talking to Monty and, the guys. So here we go.
All right. With that, that's going to get us right into our first question for Factor Philly with ABC 15s. Yep, you teed it up nice there, Craig. You teed it up nice. All right, the Suns were clearly not prepared for Game 1 loss, and that falls on Monty Williams. Fact or Philly?
Fact. Not ready. Not ready. I thought they got out coached. I thought they weren't prepared. I thought maybe they overthought things going into that. They had a week to kind of strategize and look at film and figure out how they're going to attack it. And I think it was just a bunch of disorganization and not ready to go.
And I think that the energy-wise, to your point there, Coach, they had to come out, guns a-blazing. The Clippers looked like they had more energy and physicality in that first half.
Yeah, energy. I'll lay on the players, because it's the playoffs. You should know, and then the disorganization and the kind of the strategy of, let's go with Josh Okogie, and then let's give him 7 minutes, and then let's put Torrey Craig in, and then Landry. Landry Shamet, obviously, campaign was hurt. It was just sort of this mishmash of stuff, and I just thought they just didn't go. Just go play basketball. Just go play. Know what you do.
All right, Coach, question number 2. The ball needs to be in Kevin Durant's hands and no one else for game-tying or game-winning shot. Fact or Fooey?
Well, I'll say Fooey on that because I would gladly to book too. I think Kevin Durant, obviously his usage chart was way down last 5 minutes, 7%, something like that. But he or Devin Booker are the two go-to guys, and you shouldn't have Ish Wainwright out there on the court. This has got to be, you got to play smart and not outthink yourself. And I thought they got out-coached.
All right, Coach. They struggled in the fouls department as well, and in the offensive rebounding department. It continues to haunt the Suns in the playoffs. Fact or Fooey?
Well, fact. There we go. If you look at offensive rebounds, they had 6, right? The Clippers had 15. It was just when Chris Paul is out rebounding DeAndre Ayton, something's wrong, right? Something's wrong, and I just thought they just didn't just clicking, and that sometimes can be confusion, like the coaches trying to implement a game plan that the guys aren't used to, like trying to strategize too much for a week. I just thought they looked confused at times, and Monty even said it disorganized, and that's kind of the way I took it. Just it didn't look good.
Coach, and to that point, the fouling has been an issue. The Suns are the most fouled, and they commit the most fouls. But the offensive rebounding, this is nothing new, and it seems as though they might have got that corrected maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Well, you'd think, right? And obviously we can go back. They only had 8 games with Kevin Durant playing, right, when he was healthy. But they won all 8. So what was different last night? Just because it was the playoffs? Like suddenly we're doing I'm looking at the box score right now. Chris Paul had 11 rebounds. DeAndre Ayton had 8. It's like, what is going on here? It just nothing made sense last night. And again, I think that was just too much in their head in terms of how they were going to strategize and take on this team instead of just going out and playing.
Coach, I'll tell you what happened. Is that DeAndre Ayton got moved out of the way by Zubats and Plumlee. Those two guys dominated him on the low block.
That's a fact. I'll say fact to that one. No, it's true. And a couple of years ago when they went to the finals, Ayton played really well against the big guys in the West, right? He played well against Anthony Davis. He played well against the kid up in Denver, Jokic. He had good. Yeah, he had good games against the big guys in the West. Not so much in the finals, but he played well. So we know he has that ability, but he just didn't look aggressive last night. Like he didn't look like a big guy should look in terms of aggressiveness.
All right, Fooey, let's get to number 4. We're going to talk some football. Buda Baker's demand to be one of the top paid safeties in the league. I think currently 6th highest. Wants to be traded. Is it totally justified to keep him with the Cardinals? Factor Fooey.
You can keep him, but when your best defensive player wants out, when your best offensive player wants traded, when your owner is under investigation by the NFL for cheating, You're coming off a 4-win season. You got a head coach that's never been a head coach. You got a new GM that's never been a new GM, and you're introducing new uniforms this week. That's what you got going. I just think it's kind of a mess right now in Tempe at Cardinals headquarters.
And the thing is, when you look at the 5 safeties in front of him, as far as value is concerned, I think he's going to be at 14.1 on average, and they're like 17, 18. But the value thing, Coach, you look at the value of the contract, Buddha at 56, and you look at I think the kid from the Chargers is at 76. You think that's where he's got the heartburn, thinking, well, look, I'm a top 2 or 3 safety. They're valuing more than $25 million more than I am. You think that's what the heartburn is with Buddha Baker?
Well, I think that's part of it. And listen, and Dan, you've been in the league. Yes, that's part of it. But I think there's a bigger picture for Buddha. Buddha's been a Cardinal, right?
Yes.
He's a guy that loves the Valley. He loves it here. But I think he's looking at the handwriting here. It's like, we're coming off a 4-win season. We're in a rebuild. We have no defensive line. The linebackers are young. We lost our best cornerback in Byron Murphy. I think my quarterback's hurt for at least, who part of the season, who knows how much. The offensive line isn't that great. I think he's looking at the whole thing. I got a brand new coaching staff, whole new defensive scheme. I think he's looking at everything and just saying, you know what, maybe it's time I move on to some place that might have a chance at winning and winning a Super Bowl.
Well, the way you talk there, Coach, I'm sitting here thinking, you think then that the demand for more money is an affront to just what you say to basically, well, if you don't pay me, I want the hell out of here, and just using that extra money after you just signed an extension 2 years ago to move forward, to move on.
Yeah, I just think it's part of it. I think it's all part of the big picture, right? I mean, all of us have those big pictures in our life, right? And you got to look at everything to say, does this really fit where I want to be? I mean, his sister's going to ASU, right? I mean, everything says Buddha Baker was a Valley guy. He was an Arizona guy. He wanted to stay here. But I think when you look at everything, and now the owner, like I said earlier, the owner is being investigated for cheating. I mean, you just look at everything and you think, is this really where I want to be? So I think that's part of the whole picture, but I think it's a big umbrella over everything.
All right, Coach, last question, number 5. D-backs rookie outfielder Corbin Carroll is proving to be a budding all-star with this current 288 average. 4 home runs and 6 stolen bases after only 16 games. Fact or phooey?
Oh, fact. He was last year. I mean, listen, this kid's going to be phenomenal. And the D-backs, I got to give him credit because Mike Hazen's done a good job with the farm system. And they've got some guys just chomping at the bit in AA and AAA to get up here. So I think this team is on the rise. Listen, we all know that you start like this is like a
3 minutes.
We'll give the Dodgers and the Padres like 8 strokes. Give us 8 strokes before we start, right? That's the way you got to look at it, right? It's like the D-backs are so undermatched when it comes to the Dodgers and Padres. You got to say, hey, can you give us like 10 wins before the season starts? Just give us 10 in the West. But you've got young players that are going to be really exciting, and they are a fun team to watch. And I'm a big Torey Lovello fan, so I'm excited about the future of the team. And Corbin Carroll is definitely a budding star, no question.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm surprised at how well that they are playing, Coach. I really am.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the battle for the basement between Arizona and Colorado. I mean, it still could turn out to be that, but right now I've forgotten all about that because I like the way they're playing.
And to that point, Coach, as you mentioned, with homegrown players, from the farm system is what's encouraging.
Yeah, it is encouraging. And when you're sitting in first place, and we said this a few weeks ago when they were starting, they got going in February, then March. I said, hey, let's not jump the gun too quick here. Let's wait until the end of April, into May, and see how they start. But right now they're 9-7 and in first place in the West. I'll take that any day.
Hey, Fooey, how much is the news director at ABC 15 kind of really getting into what the Yotes are going on this week? Is there much going on there? Is it a sports story? Is it a news story? Where does that fall? Because it was really loud for a while, but to me, it seems like it's got to kind of quiet. It's quiet down a little bit because of what else is going on in our town, specifically the Sun.
1 minute.
Yeah, and I think right now it's a newsy kind of a thing.
Okay.
And I don't know what to believe anymore with all this stuff. It's like anything political, right? With the vote coming up in May, I'm not sure how much of either side I believe. The Ford Tempe, the again, whatever I don't even know what the sides are called. But I'm not even sure what to believe anymore. It's like there's so much crap being thrown out in front of us about how money is being spent and how much money it's going to cost taxpayers or isn't, or what the airport is involved in Phoenix. I mean, it's a mess right now, and it's such a typical political battle that it just infuriates. It infuriates me. I'm not kidding. It's like just one person, just one politician, just one person. Just tell us the truth. That's all we want. Just the truth, and then we can make a decision from there. But nobody will. Nobody will tell you the truth.
How do you really feel about this, Fooey? I mean, we really,
I'm telling you that. Don't even get me started on politics because nobody freaking tells the truth there. So
I'm with you 100%.
What a mess.
They all suck.
Yeah, have yourself a great week, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
That's ABC 15's Craig Fooey all over. Suns tomorrow, of course, 6:30 Footprint. Of course, they'll have all the pregame and postgame coverage there on ABC 15. So, KD has now lost 7 straight playoff games. But for last night, there may have been a Nike jinx. A Nike jinx. Yes. You guys know what this is all about?
No.
Stay tuned.
We will. Okay.
What's next?
I'm intrigued.
Attention listeners. April 27th is set.
With the first pick.
And our team is ready to break down the first round. Join Jay Glazer, LeVar Arrington, Rob Stowe, and former Cardinals GM Steve Kai. Your NFL draft coverage is right here. All-day coverage till the first round kicks off at 5. Right here on Fox Sports 910. Listen for free on your iHeartRadio app.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of Game Day.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
When we make your meal, this is where we start. Traditional, old-world recipes passed down through generations. But then, we add some modern flair and spice up your Italian dining with contemporary flavor combinations. The result, the perfect fusion of new and old world traditions, and a meal you'll never forget.
Inspired by the comfort and cuisine of a Brooklyn-style pizza parlor, Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar is located at the southeast.
Are you guys still having Casey on?
Cave Creek Road in Phoenix.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, trunk lids, license plate holders, and headlights. They've got lots of headlights. When you need parts, get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. eBay Motors. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, broadcasting live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Sports fans' paradise. You are locked in to Fox Sports 910, live from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
That's right. Casey joins us now from the CAZ Sportsbook here in Casino, Arizona. Kind of get a little recap of the weekend and kind of look ahead to tonight with the NHL playoffs getting underway and, of course, NBA playoffs in full swing. So, Casey, I was curious. I was talking about it earlier with the Suns down by 5 at halftime. Do you see a lot of play when teams are like, favored to win, but they're starting off slow, and you're in your hometown? Can you see an abundance of fans, Suns fans, coming? Okay, I'm going to take a second half bet because there's a pretty good chance that they're going to come back and win because they were favored.
Yeah, we had a lot of action at halftime because, like you said, they were down by 5. So the second half line was Suns -6.
Okay.
So it was basically just picking the Suns to, win the game. Pretty much, if they won by a point, it was a push. If not, 2 or more, you won the bet. So we saw a lot of halftime action.
So you're telling me that the book did really well
yesterday? Yeah, it was definitely a good day. Not many Suns tickets cashed, but not really many throughout the day because we had 3 of the 4 underdogs win outright yesterday.
Right. Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of that, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of underdogs in the NBA playoffs and just in general. It just seems like underdogs are a way to go. Are you seeing more? Where would you say is the most popular bet when it comes to NBA? Is it points? Is it
over-under?
Over-unders?
Yeah.
Where do you see the most? And then the follow-up will be, where does NHL fall in that?
Yeah, so a lot of it for NBA because people are so used to the regular season, just the fast tempo thing like that, not much defense. A lot of people tend to go with the favorites and the overs.
Wow.
And the playoffs so far, a lot of it's gone unders, and it's been the dogs.
Oh, man. So NHL, here we go, NHL. I don't know any of my buddies that bet NHL. I mean, is there much play, or is it a little slow? I mean, I know you're a Bruins fan. Just give you the cup now, and we can move on. Yeah. I mean, so
they've all got the flu.
Yeah,
they do. They're all sick.
Yeah, they'll be all right. NHL bets are far and here and there. Not many come in. Anything on that, it's mostly a lot of the favorites. People will do like parlays with your Bruins -350 with the Leafs -180.
Okay.
Okay.
How about USFL? XFL. USFL had their first weekend, and are we seeing much or not really?
Do they even know about the XFL? USFL playing
You're allowed to bet it.
yeah, you can definitely bet it. Handles really aren't that high. I mean, we probably write maybe 20 tickets a week on XFL.
Okay.
USFL, haven't seen anything yet.
I've got a question. I want to go back quickly to the NBA. We saw 2 star players get hurt. Ja Morant in Memphis and Giannis Antetokounmpo gets hurt for the Milwaukee Bucks. So they will play tomorrow night. Do you wait to see their status and then do the lines? How does all that play out? So people who would look at the line right now, but they don't realize that maybe those players are not going to play.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you feel like. For instance, the Lakers this weekend were +5 in game 1. Right now, the Lakers are +1.5.
Okay.
So the odds are kind of already towards Ja not playing.
Okay.
Whereas if you look at Milwaukee, they were a 9-point favorite on Saturday, and they've kind of stayed the same at -9. So a lot of people are expecting Giannis to play. But, I mean, a thing like that, the Heat played phenomenal.
They did.
Shot lights out.
And Hero being out, going to be for 5 to 6
Tyler
weeks.
Hero, broken hand.
Broken hand. That could affect that as well, I would think, too.
Yeah,
big
absolutely.
upset.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bucks are still a huge favorite in this series, but yeah, definitely injury is something to take into account.
I'm real curious then about the Denver Nuggets. We watched last night, and they just put it on Minnesota. Will that impact the line then for Game 2 because of how big the Nuggets won going away?
Not too much. It'll probably maybe a point.
Okay.
Nothing major will happen there.
Okay.
And then your Celtics just absolutely, they were up by 30 at one time.
Yeah, they over
30. So I'm just curious if that, to Jimmy's point, is that going to affect the line for the next game? That they are just basically, it was like a scrimmage for them.
Yeah. They opened the first game. They closed at -10. Right now they're at -10.
Okay.
Still kind of the same thing. I mean, I'm sure they're taking into account the Hawks. I think were like 2 for 25 shooting
Horrible.
the 3.
Yeah, just terrible.
Can't get any worse, right?
No.
Case, my last one. How long you been in the market? How long you been in Phoenix?
Living out here?
Yeah.
About 10 years.
Okay, so were you here at Boston Marathon today? 10-year anniversary of the horrible bombing.
3
were you
minutes.
in Boston at the time?
I was, yeah.
Wow. I just this week, I don't know if anybody, I watched the 3 series on Netflix. Outstanding.
Yes, it is.
I had no idea some of the behind the scenes that come out in this Netflix series that I watched, and I can't imagine an entire city like Boston shutting down. Do you remember it like yesterday?
A little
Or were you a little
bit,
younger?
a little bit, not too much, because I was like 45 minutes outside of the city.
Okay.
But I mean, anytime you went into the city, months after it, tons of flowers, tons of memorial stuff there.
The Boston Strong was true.
Yeah, for
Was
sure,
it?
absolutely during that time.
Well, amazing. Boston, you got to watch it, man, on Netflix. It was tremendous. Jack said he saw it too. It's especially you, if you haven't seen it, you got to, especially somebody from that area. I was floored. I couldn't turn it off. It was three episodes in a row. You binge watch it. It's that good. So, Case, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you here at the CAZ Sportsbook. Speaking of gambling, I think many of us would like to gamble on Kevin Durant, and that he should not wear his new Nike KD 16 shoes as he debuted him yesterday.
Yes, yeah.
And he didn't have his best game, and I'm wondering if you can kind of put together the 16 signature shoe with Nike and his performance.
I found it interesting that we're saying he didn't have his best game, and he was one rebound away from a triple-double.
Exactly. I mean,
from a triple-double.
There's guys that score and have
I know.
triple-doubles, but if the team doesn't win and you're not scoring when you need to, he
there you
had
go.
those spurts where he didn't play well.
He never got the
ball to him.
Yeah.
And that's why Monty was saying, look, we need to do a better job with our offensive flow to get him the ball. And I'm like, he touches the ball at least 10 times for me in that fourth quarter, especially when they get up, they go down, and then they're chasing the lead.
1 minute.
I've got the ball to him, but that's what Monty talked about, lack of flow or offensive flow or continuity they did not have the last 5 minutes of that game.
He's got to touch it at least 22 times, at least. And DeAndre Ayton had more touches than Durant had.
I'm just about the
game.
fourth quarter alone. Jimmy, like
I'm
2
with you.
shots.
I'm well aware.
And he made both of them.
Yeah, I know.
What's wrong with that picture?
And then they never went back to him. I'm with you 100%.
By the way, I want to get back to that. So, if people that aren't familiar with the Boston Marathon bombings, this Netflix 3-part document, it's difficult to watch.
I bet.
It's so good, though.
But it's so well done and so surprising. And you kind of get a little mad at the incompetence of the police and the Boston,
the fact
that were in charge.
One of them was hiding in the boat that was a block away from that shoot that happened is crazy.
You just gave away the entire Netflix documentary.
Spoiler.
Big time spoiler.
Thanks,
there.
Jax.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out an adventurous drink menu second to none. And don't forget about our 29-degree man-sized drafts. Plus, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B every Thursday at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. Get to your favorite Twin Peaks lodge today.
Hey, Arizona, if you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, visit any one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. The Silverado is the #1 best-selling full-size light-duty pickup. So check it out during truck season going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Based on S&G Global Mobility 2022 calendar year end, U.S. new vehicle registrations using GM custom retail registration type in the GM half-ton large pickup segment.
Did you know your completely free iHeartRadio app is also your home for hit podcasts? New for you this week, check out On Purpose with Jay Shetty, discussing philosophy, life, and conversations with the biggest stars in the world. Listen today on your free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio! In this week's Marketers Report, Raja Manar, Chief Marketing and Communications Officer of MasterCard, talks about measurement.
Measuring sonic and sonic branding, the principles of measurement are the same, but the parameters that you measure are different. We measured, and what we find is our investment is paying for itself in oodles.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Hey, babe, what you got there?
This is a check from Carvana. I just sold my car to them. I went online and Carvana gave me an offer right away. Then they just picked up the car and gave me this.
Oh, that's a big check. Well, obviously you could put this towards your next car, or we could finally get that jacuzzi, or I could start taking tuba lessons, or I could quit my job and write my memoir.
Or I can put it towards my next car with Carvana.
Sorry, your check, not mine.
Sell your car to Carvana. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get a real offer in seconds.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Jake from State Farm here to answer your what ifs.
What if I need a policy, but I just can't choose?
An agent can help you choose. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Joe Brown here with Accident Law Group. If you were hurt in an accident, find us on the web at accidentlawgroup.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting from the Superbook.com studio. Superbook Sports, now live. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Merrill Kelly will be on the mound for the Diamondbacks for today's series debut against the Cardinals in St. Louis. The Suns were back on the practice court today, ready to move on from yesterday's loss to the Clippers and look ahead to tomorrow's Game 2. The Cardinals have signed veteran quarterback Jeff Driscoll to a one-year contract. He'll battle with Colt McCoy and David Blau for the starting spot, while Kyler Murray continues his rehab. LSU transfer guard Adam Miller is committed to Sun Devil men's basketball. He averaged over 11 points a game as part of the Tigers' starting five. Former Sun Devil guard DJ Horn announced his commitment to North Carolina State. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bills. That's Bills. Enter it now at foxsports910.com.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
Tonight, look for clear skies, temperatures dipping down to around 61 degrees, and then for your Tuesday, sunny but breezy, with temperatures topping out at around 87 degrees. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Blue Sky Pest Control. Blue Sky Pest Control, a Rosie on the House certified partner and a trusted choice for pest control solutions valley-wide. Better technicians, better service, Blue Sky Pest Control.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
Rojas at third smothers it. There's one. And they've got the double play, and that's the ball game. A sensational start by Zach Gallen, a 4-run inning against Sandy Alcantara. All adds up to a 5-0 Diamondbacks win.
81, and as promised, Clippers have the ball to start the final flight, looking to take Game 1. The Suns 6-0 in their last 6 Game 1s. Leonard launches, connects, counted on a...
Guys are hot 5 seconds.
The strength of Kawhi Leonard, taking the contact, falling away.
Suns lose Game 1 of their first round playoff series with the Clippers, and the D-backs avoid a sweep on the road against the Miami Marlins. They're going to go at it again tonight. Well, not them. That being the Diamondbacks are. They got the Cardinals tonight in St. Louis. And five-time Pro Bowler Buda Baker still wants out from the Arizona Cardinals. We'll talk to Frank Sanders in about a half hour. But before that, we'll have Tim Kempton talking more about the Suns' loss as they fell 115 to 110 at Footprint. They'll go back at it tomorrow. Two teams were tied at 81 at the end of the third. And then that's when the Clippers and Westbrook and Kawhi just went off. And that was the big difference, especially the amount of, lack of effort early on, I think. I don't know. I just think that this team is not as good as we all think they are.
Well, I think they're as good as we think they are. They just didn't show it in the first quarter. Now, Manuch always yells this. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
I've never heard him say that.
Yeah.
I've been doing 18 years.
He said
you say it on Tuesdays and Wednesdays when I'm not here.
I always have said it.
You never say that.
It's how you finish.
That is correct.
Where it's all at. Well, it was halfway through the first quarter that's when you start to see the Clippers put it on.
Right. But
30 points.
But the point I'm going to make here is that people are making so much about the poor start, yet in the second half, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't the Phoenix Suns have the lead?
By 9.
Sure in the second half? So what happened in the first half should not even be a topic of conversation because they overcame that and had the lead in the second
so we can
half.
forget about the first quarter.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just move on.
You were down by 5 at half. Okay.
Yeah.
That's no big deal in the NBA.
Yeah, you'd climb right back in.
They made their, 15-0 run, or it was a 12-0, 15-0 run. They got the lead. It was just, I think the thing that's disconcerting or frustrating for Suns fans is, okay, we thought you'd settled your the opposing team beating you in offensive rebounds like 2 or 3 weeks ago. You're still one of the top fouling teams as you ended the season. You were again, the fouling is part of your forte, so to speak. You got to clean those things up, but you've got to be more aggressive down there in playoff time and crunch time as far as offensive rebounds are concerned with this team. And you would think, you talked about Ish Wainwright being in there, Landale, DA, who should be sweeping the boards, should have Windex in his mop, should be cleaning the glass all day and all night.
How?
And not
that player.
I know, Rocket, but he should be.
Now, he's not. We saw him after 4 years. That's not him.
We saw him 2 years ago in the playoffs. In those
We've
first 4
seen
rounds.
such small sample sizes of that.
2 years ago, when they went to the NBA final, we saw that kid. Wow, that's the DA we're looking for.
4 games total?
Well,
5?
You missed out on the last 4 in a row by Milwaukee, but I mean,
so you can't just you're taking such a small sample size and just saying, that's who he is.
Okay, then I think we all agree that DA, that's his game. He can't do it on a consistent basis.
Yep.
All right, then Monty is going to have to make that control of maybe you pull his butt out, sacrifice scoring power, allow KD, CP3, and Devin Booker be the scoring guys, and put a Landale back in there, or
not
Craig.
very good.
But I'm saying from the
really missing those 2 free throws late in that game was bad.
No, my point is
a couple wide open jumpers he missed. He's not a good.
No. I'm not talking about him scoring. I'm talking about give up some scoring from the DA standpoint to get a rebounder in there, so you prevent those offensive rebounds. So you got to give. So you're going to rely on.
Would you rather have Busy in there? It seems like he's a better defensive player than those two.
Whomever. Yeah, they're not going to score as much as DA is. But either Busy or Landale have got to be down there for crunch time so that prevent those offensive rebounds. So my point is, all right, maybe you give up some scoring. You put DA on the bench, as crazy as that sounds, knowing your matchup's going to be Landale and Busy in there at a time to make sure you don't see what we saw the other day. That was so frustrating. It was 4 offensive rebounds in a row there. Kick it out, miss shot. I got it again. Kick it out, made shot. So you look at there's 6, 7, 8 points off the offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter alone.
I think it's just moving forward. The Suns just got to stop overthinking it and simply play your best guys. Just play your best guys. Stop trying to fix it and just play them. And I don't care if it's 40, 45 minutes a game. So what? Just play them.
This is the playoffs.
Yes.
If you lose, you're done. It's that simple. Your guys didn't correct me if I'm wrong here. Trust me, I'm wrong a lot. But correct me if I am on this point. Didn't Monty Williams at one time a few weeks back say in one of his post-game press conferences, or maybe it was Booker.
It was last week. Was
it last week?
Yeah, it was last
he
week.
Said, I want to get him up to 40 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Didn't he say that?
He did that 2 weeks ago before he sat the guys. Because you looked at the minutes, Leonard had 42 minutes. And you look at him, and also Westbrook played dang near 36 minutes.
Yep.
So at that point, the Suns went 6 deep on their bench and only got 10 points out of that bench. So
I think it's safe to say we know that the Suns bench that's where the Clippers clearly have a better team.
Yeah, they do.
Is the bench. Yeah, starting 5, you take Phoenix all day long. But it's the bench, and that's the key. And we see this in all the NBA playoffs. It's bench play.
And we talked about Powell and how proficient he was yesterday, and Plumlee. So I think that bench will tighten up and the minutes will go up, knowing they've got to win tomorrow night's game. They have to win.
They have to win tomorrow night.
And then you go over to L.A. And win 1 out of the 2 there and hold serve here. So you just have to hold serve, get back to holding serve here.
Look, this is a 4-5 game. And so from that standpoint, these are the 2 closest teams record-wise in their division, which is why they are matched up in the 4-5 game. I just thought that people thought that the Suns, when they got KD, were just going to walk through people. Folks, it doesn't happen like that. This is the NBA playoffs, and everything takes a quantitative leap as far as pressure, aggression,
and
everything chemistry on the floor.
And the flow. And when Mike talked about, our offensive flow wasn't there, I'm like, well, you got a couple guys that can score the hell out of the basketball. Why can't you set up enough plays to get them
the ball?
And, you got CP3, you had KD, and you had Kevin Booker on the floor.
Yeah.
That was tough for them to get good shots off those last 3 minutes remaining.
Imagine if Paul George was playing.
Oh.
I mean, this Clippers bench is average close to 48 points a game over the last 10 games, including this game 1. And that's without George in the lineup.
And I'm going to say, if this game goes to a game 7, don't count Paul George out. If he feels,
when I saw him on the sideline, when I first saw him come into the TV screen, and I'm like, I thought he had his jersey on, because he was wearing whatever he was wearing. It looked like he had a uniform on. I'm like, whoa, maybe we'll see him in a couple games.
Well,
I hope not.
To that point, Rock, if he feels 90-95%, he can go. Have another score out there with the claw.
Even if he only plays limited minutes, he's a force. Yeah. He's a force on the court.
I got a funny feeling if it goes 7 that Paul George is going to play. I really do.
Diamondbacks tonight have St. Louis. Merrill Kelly will get the nod. The team's currently on the top of the National League West, 9-7. Corbin Carroll went yard again for the 4th time this season. He finished the day 2 for 4, 2 RBI, and a pair of runs scored. And speaking of Zach Gallen, he once again improved to 2-1. He struck out 7 over 6 2/3 scoreless innings. But this Diamondbacks team, if you just keep staying in these series, you lose that last series 2-1. But if you go into St. Louis, maybe pick up a couple. Hey, why not? And then you come back, you got San Diego, and just keep staying there. Just keep it close.
Would you call this team scrappy?
Oh yeah.
Oh sure.
Yeah, I like that.
A lot of small ball, but isn't it interesting to see Corbin Carroll? This kid have pop from both sides of the plate.
Yeah.
Right-handed side, left-handed side with the 6 dingers right now, and the 4 home runs, plus the 6 stolen bases, plus this kid's arm and the coverage he has out there in the outfield. So yeah, I would say it's a scrappy small ball team with a little bit of pop.
Yeah.
The guys that got the pop, the Christian Walkers of the world, haven't got on track yet.
No.
I think Walker's below the Mendoza line.
He is.
Wait for him to get on track. He was 0 for again yesterday, but they did win the game thanks to the nice win by Zach Gallen.
Yeah.
To put it all in place yesterday's game.
We talked about a little bit on Friday with Buda Baker, the 5-time Pro Bowler, as the NFL Network was the first to report that he's requested a trade. That Adam Schefter of ESPN added that it came back. It was in February when this first came down.
Right.
He's the team captain. He's the locker room guy. He's the face of the organization right now, and here he is wanting to get traded. So we're going to talk to Frank Sanders a little bit later, see what he says. They did sign a quarterback, Manuch. Remember I told you?
Yeah.
On Friday that they were working him out, and the former Houston Texan.
Yeah. He's got like 6 years. He's been in the league for like 6 years. I think I heard him a long time ago. Yeah,
2 minutes.
Jeff Driscoll.
Jeff Driscoll. Yeah. Know the name. You know where he
played at Florida.
No. Florida played at Louisiana, I think.
No, Driscoll?
Yeah.
He played at Florida.
Played at
Florida?
Yeah.
I thought he played at Louisiana. Jeff Driscoll?
Yeah. Played at Florida.
That's a name out of the past. You go, wow, he's
I think you're thinking of Zach Mettenberger.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no, Driscoll played at Florida.
Well, you like him because he played for the Bengals. For you being a big Bengals guy,
huge Bengals fan, Jimmy,
because he was there 2017-18 or something like that. So he hasn't played much.
No, he hasn't. But hey, it's a body.
Well, it's a camp arm.
It's a camp body.
It's a camp arm to come out there and throw, and with Colt McCoy and David Blau, and now him, they might sign one more too. Who knows? Just for. But I mean, they hardly practice. You only need 3 arms out there for crying out loud.
I was just going to say.
Jeez, on Friday. Yeah, I threw 20 times today. I'm exhausted. Oh, my gosh. How about if you throw 50 per practice 100 practice.
Come on,
for
Manuch.
6 weeks.
When I played in the National Football League, we had 3-a-days. And we would throw 80 times in the morning, another 120 times a day in the afternoon, and then after dinner, we have to go throw again. Oh, my gosh.
Not to mention the 40 throws I had in the gym before I went out to practice on top of that.
Oh, man, and walking up that hill.
Coming down was tough, too.
Oh, jeez, Manuch, we love you, but, man.
But football was football, man. It was damn flag football
Back
stuff
in the
they got.
day, man, no helmets.
Of course, the boys are getting paid nowadays. God bless them.
Tim Kempton is going to break this game down, get his thoughts on who's the guy. Is it Devin Booker or is it KD? Who should get the ball at the end of the game? We'll ask him that along with what needs to happen to get the series even at 1-1. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from the CAZ Sports Book.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
I-10 eastbound at 107th Avenue. We have an accident that's sitting off left. I-10 eastbound at 16th Street. Right shoulder is blocked by a crash there. Now 17 northbound from the 10 split to Adams. That is running slow. 16th Street. This is at Bethany Home Road. We have an accident. That's a check of the roadways.
This report is sponsored by Orangutan Service Experts. Did you know that HVAC maintenance can help lower greenhouse emissions? That's why they are giving away free precision tune-ups for a limited time. Help the planet and commit to less emit. Call Orangutan Service Experts today at 866-EXPERTS to schedule your HVAC maintenance.
Join Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. And online at wrighttoyota.com.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call the Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
This is Super Bowl champion Alfred Williams. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz.
The Diamondbacks put Merrill Kelly on the mound for today's series debut against the Cardinals. The Cardinals added to their quarterback room, signing veteran Jeff Driscoll to a one-year contract. He'll battle Colt McCoy and David Blau for the starting spot, while Kyler Murray continues his rehab. Evans Chibet won the Boston Marathon for a second straight year. The unofficial time, 2 hours, 5 minutes, 54 seconds, the third fastest time in the race's history. I'm Frank Arity.
This family takes turns turning heads. Brains, beauty, and athleticism. All they need now is for you to drive them off the lot. The Mercedes-Benz family of SUVs. A family of unrivaled vehicles waiting at your local dealer.
Part of the Phoenix Suns NBA Finals team. NBA and Suns color analyst Tim Kempton now joins the Roc and Manuch show on Fox Sports 910 on FM at 99.9 HD2.
81. And as promised, Clippers have the ball to start the final front, looking to take game one. The Suns 6-0 in their last 6 game ones. Leonard launches, connects, counted on a foul.
The strength of Kawhi Leonard, taking the contact, falling away.
Hell of a game for Kawhi Leonard as it all started slow as Phoenix, they just had a brutal opening 18 minutes. Couldn't get it going on either side of the ball. But made it interesting, of course. Not sure where to start, Tim. A lot here. Do you now that you've had some time to kind of digest this game? What is your biggest takeaway from what you saw and witnessed and called yesterday?
Well, the biggest takeaways are obviously Kawhi Leonard was the best player on the court yesterday night. He played exceptionally well, and it went pretty much, the way Tyronn Lue wanted it. He knows the starting five, the Suns dominate. We know that. But where Tyronn Lue feels that he can win the game is the bench, and that's exactly what happened. The bench points were 34-10. So, you extrapolate the numbers and everything, that's 24-point difference that the starters made up and tried to. So, and the little things matter. Obviously getting rebounds, but that's all five guys. Obviously everybody's sitting there and, the DeAndre Ayton and the bigs, but who is the little guy that was getting the rebounds and keeping it alive? It was Russell Westbrook, who was not putting a body on him. So it takes five guys in the whole scenario. Kawhi Leonard was the best player. Monty needs more strength, more output from his bench, and you have to do the little things. I thought they took care of the ball well. That was good. But in that fourth quarter, they gave up 5 offensive rebounds and 7 second chance points in the fourth quarter that turned out to be huge in the victory for the Clippers.
I know a lot of people point fingers to DeAndre Ayton. He didn't have one of his better games, of course, especially on the offensive boards. Who do you feel needs to step up there? I mean, that's the kind of player you are. You're a guy in there banging it up underneath. Who would you like to see that could come in there and hopefully make a difference here?
Well, yeah, I think it's got to be a team effort. You just can't point at one guy. Listen, the Clippers are a big team. You got Ivica Zubac as a starter. You got Mason Plumlee as your secondary center. They're both big guys. They're both aggressive, and they both stay around the basket. So it's going to be everybody to go in there and help out. It's going to be Torrey Craig. It's going to be Josh Okogie. Even Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. It's going to be, when you get to the playoffs, it's a team effort. If you're waiting for one guy to do it, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. I mean, you look at everybody around the league. If you have a chance to watch those games, at times it was other people. You can't expect one person, and that's the Suns need to look in the mirror as a group and say, hey, I need to do a little bit more. And everybody around that in that locker room has to go, yeah, I can see where I need to do a little bit more and help out in this scenario.
So you tell me that Chris Paul with a team-high 10 rebounds is not going to do it for this team?
No, not at all. It's nice when you see guards hang out and gobble up those long rebounds. You love to see when they stay in there and finish the defensive possession off. That's not a bad thing. But yeah, the other guys need to step up as well. They need to do more of their job for sure.
So Tim, I guess the question is that just a want to as far as rebounding? I mean, because you're looking at what were the fundamental breakdowns for these offensive boards by the Clippers? Were the Suns anxious to get out on the break and figured since they had the big men out that they'd get the rebounding? And at what point did they realize, man, we need to crash the boards so these guys don't get their second chance points, that being the Clippers?
Yeah, well, throughout the beginning of the game, they did a halfway decent job. Obviously, you're going to get offensive rebounds throughout the game, and you want to minimize the second chance points, and they did that. And, all told, I think that the number was only 12 second chance points off of 9 rebounds. So they had 12 offensive rebounds and for the game. So with that, anything, around 12, 13 points, you're like, okay, you can live with that. But they gave up 5 in the fourth quarter. That gave up 7 second chance points. So as a group and as a game, you can look at it. But, it's when you get the stops, when you make the plays, and the Suns needed to make the plays in the fourth quarter once the game gets tight. Let's face it, this is the 4 or 5 seed. This is the closest matchup, the teams that kind of mimic each other the most throughout the entire season. So, these games are supposed to be close. It's the playoffs, so it is those little things. And you have to do them for 48 minutes. You can't have slip-ups in the last minute of the game, and all of a sudden 5-7 points, in the last 50 seconds of the game. You have to take care of those little things.
Tim Kempton is our guest. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910 on the Wright Toyota guest line. Tim, I want to get to the center position real quick because you're so familiar with being down on that low block. I thought Zubats played tremendous, and I also thought that Mason Plumlee coming in off the bench, he went 3 for 3, had like 8 rebounds, and defended extremely well. And it just felt like that Ayton didn't have an answer for either one of those guys, and neither did Biyombo. Jock Landale tried, but I don't think he got enough playing time. Did you expect Zubats and Plumlee to have that big of impact in Game 1?
Well, they came out and did what they do during the year. They don't do anything crazy. But when they get the ball around the basket, it's usually on a high percentage pick and roll shot. You know, when they're on the offensive glass getting rebounds, because you look at it, there was a couple of times where DeAndre stepped up to stop a driving player someplace else, and that, of course, that's going to leave Zubats open on the back end if the secondary defender doesn't crack down on him. So you know, you could pick apart the numbers, but how did they come? You know, look at the film. You really have to watch the film, especially in playoff series, to see what you did wrong. But that's Zubats and Mason Plumlee's strength. They're going to play within 5 to 10 feet of the basket. Did one of their buckets come on a jump shot? Nope. Everything Zubats scored was a little jump hook. Everything that Mason Plumlee scored was a dunk or an offensive rebound tip. They're playing around the basket, so they're a big team. You have to put a body on them. If DeAndre rotates to help someone else out, the next guy has to crack down on them. So those are the little things that you just have to be so cognizant with in a playoff series, because you know everybody's strengths and weaknesses, and you're going to see them for at least 4 games.
Tim Monty talked about in the presser that the Suns never really had the kind of offensive flow that they had at the end of the year. Define what he's talking about, and what exactly were some of the lack of flow there in that fourth quarter.
Well, you could go back to the first quarter where Kevin Durant goes 0 for 4 and Devin Booker goes 3 of 8. They were all shots they were very capable of. Devin had a bunch of mid-range shots that were coming up short. So when you don't get that confidence early, everything tends to be a struggle. Now you're playing catch-up, and you're like, oh, we got to match the Clippers. We can't let them go on it. And to their credit, in that third quarter, they looked like the Suns. They came out. They had a 9-point lead at one time, but then the Clippers answered, and it's 81-81 going into the fourth quarter. So at spurts they had it, but it looked like the Clippers had it for longer periods of time, and that's why they came out with the win.
Jim, I know all the talk about Kevin Durant and him being on this team and them being undefeated with him, and we were having a discussion before you came on about I believe that this is still Book's team, and it feels like some fans out there think, oh no, this is Kevin Durant's team because of who Kevin Durant is. But at the end of the game, who do you want to give the ball to? I mean, there's really no right or wrong answer, but right now, under the circumstances, who are you giving the ball to?
Well, again, it's for me, it's circumstantial. Who's the matchup? I think Devin Booker still, because of the people that are going to guard him. They had Eric Gordon on him a couple of times. That's an advantage for Devin Booker right there. Like in the instance on that last play, Devin Booker had it. Who was guarding him? Russell Westbrook. What does Russell Westbrook do? He's an elite athlete, and in the playoffs, we saw throughout the first 47 minutes how physical they're letting him play. If I was Booker, I may have, I know Devin Booker's a great player, and you want to make those plays, but there might have been a better matchup for the Suns on that last play when Devin Booker tried to take Russell Westbrook off the dribble. So for me, it's circumstances. Do I like Devin? Do I think Devin made a poor choice in going at Russell Westbrook? No. But when you can look at it the next day and see film and watch it, now you and I could have all the right answers. And that's what I'm saying to your question. But no, I still, like Devin Booker. But yeah, you want the best opportunity. So if you have a better, when they had Russell Westbrook on Kevin Durant, what were they doing? They were going to Kevin Durant. You know, there's in the low post a couple of times where Kevin took him off the dribble and just shot over him. So that's the chess game that you play in the playoffs, is trying to find your best strength to use to your best advantage.
He's one of the best. Tim Kempton, color analyst for the Phoenix Suns. Tim, appreciate it as always. We'll be listening tomorrow, man. Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
Tim Kempton joining us here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on the Right Twitter guest line, and he is brought to you by today All City Towing. As they continue to grow, they got new vehicles that they're adding to their fleet, and they need to hire. So go to their website, allcitytowing.com. You can find out all the information about their incredible benefits. City Towing.
So, guys,
coming up, he has requested a trade. That's next as we continue. CAZ Sports Casino Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Hey, Manuch, you there?
Trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
Hey, I'm going to have you cut a promo for me while I call Frank.
Series debut against Allen was named the National League Player.
One second. All right, go for it, man. Thanks, Manuch.
You help a loved one need a transplant? You can. Have facts about living on mission. Go to organdonor.gov. More save lives. A message from Health and Human Services.
Truck season is going on now for Valley Chevy dealers. Great offers going on now with trucks, SUVs, crossovers, and cars. See your Valley Chevy dealers for great deals happening right now during truck season. Visit valleychevy.com. That's valleychevy.com. Shopping for a mortgage? Big banks can be a big hassle. Call GC Global Capital and work with a local team of mortgage experts for great rates and lower fees, more options, and faster closings. Don't let your dream home purchase turn into a nightmare. Call the professionals at GC Global Capital, 480-397-9300. GC Global Capital, your local mortgage professionals. GC Global Capital, more than a licensed mortgage broker. MLS 1091117, license MD092493.
Whether it's beer and wings with the guys or a steak or ribs with that special someone. Sale.
Homeowner just like you.
Hey.
Decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the back side of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48.
Hey, go ahead and give Frank a text. He's not answering.
And replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded.
His phone's not even ringing, which leads me to believe he's got it on DND.
In this week's Marketers Report, Chris Brandt, Chief Marketing Officer at Chipotle Mexican Grill, weighs in on the power of audio.
We've used audio to reinforce what we're showing on TV, what we're showing in other digital channels. When your priority is driving reach, boy, everybody seems to listen to the radio.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, conversations, trusted influencers.
All right, I'm going to come back with the regular bumper unless he comes back in time.
iHeartResults.com.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep Plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
This family takes turns turning heads. Brains, beauty, and athleticism. All they need now.
All right, guys, no Frank. 10 seconds, regular bumper.
The Mercedes-Benz family of SUVs. A family of unrivaled vehicles waiting at your local dealer.
Sorry I had you down, but bumper's going. You guys are hot.
Congrats. Diamondbacks ace, Zach Gallen, named National League Player of the Week. As the 2 starts, both were wins for the Snakes. 2-0. Didn't allow a run in just over 13 innings. Gave up 1 walk, 5 hits, struck out 18 batters, and then yesterday won again, but that goes into a new week. But congrats to Zach Gallen, the ace of this Diamondbacks team. I mean, opening day wasn't the best for him, but
that's okay. It's worked out so well.
It worked
Yeah,
out pretty good for him. So it's good to see this team 9-7. Snakes tonight, 4:45 Valleys. Got to watch Monday night. Got some D-backs. That's one thing I love is I think Valleys does a good job. Great broadcast. They do such a good job. But just to be able to come home on a Monday when there's not really much going on, unless you're going to watch some hockey playoffs or NBA playoffs, of course. But D-backs, hometown, local television is good stuff. Gotta love it.
I always enjoy it. I like it when they're on early. I mean, that's why you like living on Pacific time.
Yeah, I mean, you go to bed, 8?
Oh, stop. Manuch and I are texting at like 11:15.
Yeah, whatever.
That's because I woke him up.
Oh, stop.
Yeah. I was taking this little power nap.
Who
here.
keeps their phone on at that late?
Oh, mine's on all the time.
I mean,
no, I don't. I leave it in the office.
You guys are like little kids.
I leave it in the office at night. I do not take my phone to the bed with me at all because I don't want to be disturbed.
Correct.
Yeah, well, you and the raincoat. You and your work raincoat.
I didn't know. I didn't realize I could still produce at such a high level.
Whatever.
Damn straight.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to being in my 60s. You just go to sleep.
You know what? It gets better, Rock. Every year it gets better.
It gets better.
Yeah, you can wear shirts like I have on today.
Yeah, you get away with it. See, that's the thing. People feel bad. Like, so our Jimmy B right now is wearing this
Bengals.
Yeah, Cincinnati Bengals golf shirt. Okay,
that's what it is.
TFG, whatever that stands for, and it's awful. But he gets away with it because if you're over 70, you get away with stuff, right? You just feel bad. You're like, oh, look at that guy. Oh, he's so cute. Look at wearing that little Bengals shirt.
Hey, don't mess with that cute little guy over there. He's
harmless. Let him go ahead. You hear the line. There's a line, and he knows he's only got he's got some milk. He's got some aspirin. He's got something. Oh, let him go for it.
I had to stop at the pharmacy and buy some raincoats too.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Or like when Jimmy B walks slow, he can walk slow because he's so old.
Yeah, you let him go.
He's earned that right. He's earned that right.
But I will say, on a positive note, both you two guys that are older, are in very good shape. I got a lot of guys that I know that are your age that. Oh my goodness!
I got to tell you guys, the secret is olive oil, garlic, and red wine, and just keep it. That's the key right there, man. Plenty of garlic and olive oil and red wine. That keeps you going, man.
You always say that, right? But how much red wine do you really drink?
I might have
on a given week.
I might have a glass a night.
Oh, a night?
Yeah, I might have a glass a night. Yeah,
we may have to have a little intervention every night.
No, yeah, if it's out there.
If it's out there, if it's available, sounds like it's always there. Got a little tap system going there.
I think my wife has to have a glass knowing I'm coming home, so she's got to be prepared.
It's like,
because he bought raincoats.
If you guys are curious why the raincoat comment on our Manuch's, what do you call it? Quick Draw Manuch?
Yes.
One of the questions had to do with
it was what gift would you give Manuch that starts with the letter R?
And I said a rosary because I need a lot of prayer. I mean, I think that's a given. I do, and I'll take it too, just so you know. And then Jimmy B went on to say
a raincoat. Yeah.
Well, I explained it.
Well, thank you for doing that, Jimmy, because it was. I don't know if our if our program director is about to knock on your door or not.
There's nothing wrong with what I said.
I think at the point what you said earlier, Rock, about or Jax, having the right, since you've earned that right, to make those comments is something that he might have just taken under consideration. Last thing you want is our program director.
I have the sound if you want it.
No, let's move on. Just save that for the archives. It'll be used again, I'm sure. Hey, there was an independent review conducted by a research institute at the W.P. Carey School of Business that confirmed that the Tempe Entertainment District, which the ballots are going to go out this week. Votes in May. It's right around the corner. There's a lot of conflict, a lot of messaging that I think a lot of people aren't sure who to believe, not to believe. But this independent review has said that the Tempe Entertainment District will generate hundreds of millions of dollars for the city of Tempe, and the residents won't have to pay for it, a first in Arizona history. Now, they basically said that the revenues are going to be higher than first anticipated, right? More tax revenue will be generated, and there's still no cost to the residents. So, this arena will be the first sports facility in the history of the state to pay property taxes.
Wow.
Yeah, but they're getting a phenomenal rebate on the tax break from the city.
Well,
of
I'm sure
on
of
top
that.
Of that too.
Yeah.
The only taxes that are going to be, if you're using the property, the retail or hotel, or the only taxes to the city of Tempe is those taxes that they're taxing while using the facility.
Yeah, so the users, right?
The users. That's all. That is all it is. That is a dump site forever. That on top of everything, that is being cleaned up by the Coyotes as well too.
So when you see these type of stories that hit, they're and it's pretty valid. When you're seeing it's the W.P. Carey School of Business,
right.
I don't understand the naysayers out there saying, "Oh no, that's not true. You're going to be paying for it. You're going to be paying for it," when it's clearly in black and white that you are not going to pay for it because it's not coming out of your wallet. Okay, now it is coming out of your wallet a percentage, a couple percent every time you go there.
If you go there,
but that's your choice.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's
you don't want to pay that extra 2% that's going to be on your dinner bill that's going to go towards this or whatever the number is.
Well, classic case when State Farm was built, one of the things was the hotel industry, the rental car industry were the ones going to be taxed, where that money was going to go back toward that facility in the city of Glendale. Okay, so if you're going to come in there, hell, you buy tickets now, or even tickets for wherever. All the fees incorporated for tickets nowadays are going to go toward that city. The old Dodge Theater, I think we bought Earth, Wind, and Fire tickets. They're coming up here, I think, here in October. Man, the fees, you go, wow. I mean, they get cranked up. But that's if you go to that city and use their whatever you're going to use, so that's taxed. There is not one dime the city of the Tempe constituents are going to pay for this facility, which is going to be a benefactor for your community when you have hundreds of millions of dollars coming back in tax benefits and revenue generated, all the above. And the W.P. Carey School of Business, they've got it down pat. So if anybody has any doubts, just go pull up that report.
Everybody, for some reason, there's always haters. I mean, you could cure cancer, and there'd be people that would say, no, you didn't do it. No,
right.
It just never fails. There's haters for everything.
And this is a landfill.
Yeah.
Right?
A dump.
It's a dump.
Let me tell you,
it's going to get fixed up, cleaned up, and it's going to help that Tempe Town Lake be even bigger and better than it was.
Yep.
And the fact that the team would spend more than $2.1 billion to create this district.
Right. Well,
jobs, the whole 9 yards. If you like the Coyotes, you don't have to like the Coyotes. You may go see a concert there.
Yeah.
You may go have dinner there.
The factor is
you may live there.
It is an unusable site as it is today, unless it's cleaned up first.
Yeah.
And then you develop. And they're offering to come do all of that for the benefactor of the city of Tempe constituents. It's not Scottsdale. It's not Tempe. is going to benefit from this entire
I
thing.
think this is a slam dunk.
It is.
I don't know why we're even talking about it. I mean, we get so caught up in the 1-2% out there in this world, and that's what it really is. Just the thing is that 1 or 2% is pretty loud.
Well, Rob, there's that mob psychology of people go, oh, well, if they said it must be true. Versus, I love it. Gary Bettman was here last week to help reassure that what the TED is doing, basically, it's the Coyotes development arm to developing this. And I really like the message that's being put out there on a daily basis, whether it be with Twitter or Instagram or whatever, talking about supporting 301, 302, and 303. And I love city because I grew up in Tempe. Right. I mean, I want to see that city continue to
Tempe McClintock, go Chargers.
No, it's Charger Pride.
1 minute.
Charger Pride.
Oh, right.
But you got to remember, Tempe, the city of Tempe is landlocked. There's no more room for growth except for along the river bottom, and then it gets into Phoenix.
But what is the there's got to be something negative, right? I mean, traffic, is that really what it comes down to?
Traffic flows are being fixed right now, what they're doing over
Look
there.
at all the traffic that takes place when they have spring training.
Hey, remember when State or University of Phoenix first opened up, Rock, the traffic issues they had? It was
so bad
forever. And I think it's somewhat kind of quasi fixed to a point, but it still takes you a while to get out of there.
Yeah, but that's 70,000 people.
Exactly. I mean, this
this is 16.
16.
But I mean, but with all the retail and the hotel and the residential offices, all the above, it is going to be such a benefactor for the city. People need to understand that. It's just that they're going, well, it must have or it must have taxpayer money going into it. No, it doesn't.
No.
I am bummed out. I don't like what the Coyotes are doing on the ice. I don't like the plan. I'm not a fan of the plan. Here we are, Stanley Cup finals, the playoffs start tonight, and I would love to just have a chance, even if they were a wild card, giving okay, hey, so if they're out in the Pacific and they're getting a chance to play, Minnesota or Dallas or Edmonton or whoever, I don't care, just to be in the playoffs, to have a shot.
Yep.
And they're best of 7, so you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, right. And the other reason why I think that the Coyotes are being so vocal about this is that they don't want that record or lack of development to get in the way for people to go, why should I support a team that's basically the bottom of the barrel team? It's, well, you don't have to support. You're voting on a development that will eventually is going to enhance the city, whether they're good or bad.
By the way, real quick before we go to a break, I think it's important. If you live in Mesa and you bought a lottery ticket on Saturday, many of you have bought lottery tickets and you don't check them. Or you're like, I'm not going to win, but you still buy them.
I always check mine.
Well, maybe not right away.
Yeah.
But the pick jackpot sold at the Happy Food Mart over there on Main Street in Mesa hit for $3.2 million.
Oh, hello.
So if you're out there, you're listening, don't forget your Roc and Manuch.
Is it always kind of the off-the-side type facilities that they...
It's always a little, rural type place where, like...
Little mom and pop.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll come back. We'll give you an update on our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question today, tell you what's on tap, and much, much more as we finish up out here at the CAZ Sportsbook. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B.
With inflation compensation, you can win $1,000. Listen at the top of the hour weekdays from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the keyword to enter at foxsports910.com. Sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys.
Hey, Arizona, it's your local accident attorney, Kevin Rowe. Results matter, so we want to help you win $1,000. Powered by Lerner and Rowe Accident Attorneys, where we treat you like family. In a wreck, need a check? Call Lerner and Rowe today at 977-1900.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
There is stop-and-go traffic, I-10 westbound from 7th Avenue out to 43rd Avenue. That's where we have an accident that has traffic down to 2 lanes. Also an accident 10 eastbound near 99th Avenue, and another crash 10 eastbound near 35th Avenue. Right shoulder is blocked there. That's a check of the roadways.
This report is sponsored by GetRefunds.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. If you own a business and still haven't applied for the payroll tax refund, we want to pay a licensed tax attorney to see if you're eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee. Go to GetRefunds.com, GetRefunds.com.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278.
It's the wind down in sparkling water. It's the zone out at the spa. The stunning sunsets at dinner. It's the escape you crave, and it's closer than you think. Talking Stick Resort's summer playcation package, starting at $139 a night with no resort fee for Arizona residents. Exclusive spa specials and $25 in free slot play. Plus, enjoy great deals inside the Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Top Golf, Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, and more. Summer playcation, May 8th to September 15th at Talking Stick Resort. Turn it on.
Wright Toyota, the #1 volume Toyota dealer in the state of Arizona, ensures you a buying experience that will exceed all your expectations. Check it out for yourself. Located just off the 101 on Franklin Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale and online at WrightToyota.com.
Duke Sports Grill on Miller and McDowell. 12 pool tables and 3 shuffleboard tables.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
Coldest draft beer in town.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
3 patios right on the greenbelt. 1 non-smoking.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
More than 60 TVs playing your favorite sports.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
Saturdays and Sundays, build your own Bloody Mary bar.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell. Where? Duke's! Where? Duke's! Miller and McDowell!
Scottsdale! Yes, we do have availability. Those dates for how many guests?
Andrea's Boutique Hotel is the destination to tie the knot.
Oh, you want the whole property?
She needs an assistant to catch the bookings bouquets.
249 guests, huh? Oh, and 3 dogs.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the Lerner and Rowe. One call, that's all. Call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
81, and as promised, Clippers have the ball to start the final front, looking to take game 1. The Suns 6-0 in their last 6 game 1s. Leonard launches, connects, counted on a foul.
The strength of Kawhi Leonard, taking the contact, falling away.
It's a tough cover. You can score from all areas. So, he was making shots there in the second half. We made some big threes there in the fourth quarter. Just an all-time player. So we got to continue to be physical and deny his catch.
Guys are hot.
Make it as tough as we can on him.
Game 2 tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Didn't see this happen. I did not. It was interesting. I'm at a bar watching the game, of course, and it was such a difference. The first couple scores, baskets, the place is cheering. And I'm like, oh, I missed this.
Yeah.
And then they're down by a few. Never heard it again. The place, it was wall to wall to get in. You couldn't get it, nowhere to sit. And literally, it was such a cool atmosphere for the first 5 minutes of the game, and then it never came back. And that sucks. I mean, I don't understand the fan base sometimes. Because they were leading, they were up by 7 at one point? 9. 9
points. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because if we think back on the last NBA run by the Suns, we look a couple years ago and they pick on the Bucks. Then you think way back when Charles Barkley and the gang, where they got down 2-1 in a 5-game set against the LA Lakers. They came back and won those 2 games in a row to win that series 3 out of 5. So, it was disappointing that they lost that game last night, but I'm like, okay, they've got some things. They can win this thing in the next 4 in a row or next, 4 out of the next 5, that type of thing. So, but you're right, Rock, that enthusiasm, that satisfaction right now format versus KD and Monty Williams and the gang saying, look, this is one game and we'll figure it out and move on from there. So I think those are some of the things that I think fans have to realize. It's going to be a tough series, But you still figure I still got the Suns winning this series against the Clippers.
Fans have to understand that these two teams pretty much mirror each other, which is why they were 5 and 6, and so this is 4 and 5. Thank you. This is the best matchup on paper, and it's going to be the best matchup as well on the court, because of the type of play that is going to take place.
And don't forget, 2 years ago, they started off with who? The Lakers.
The Lakers.
Yeah, and they beat the Lakers. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, et al., who were just coming off of a world title in the COVID year, in the bubble year, coming off as far as winning that whole type of thing, too. And speaking of the Suns, our State 48 Roofing, it's your call question of the day, which you can go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter. What concerns you the most about the Suns' game 1 Clippers last night? Is it not coming out prepared? Is it being out-coached? Is it could not stop Leonard?
2 minutes.
Clippers offensive boards. And again, you can go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter. Currently being out-coached, 45.5%, followed by could not stop Leonard at 27.3%. Then you got not coming out prepared, 18.2%. And then Clippers offensive boards, 9.1%. So thus, with the 5th playoff game loss in a row, those taking the poll are saying Monty Williams not having these guys ready to go and being out-coached.
Here's what's on tap, brought to you by the Roc and Manuch Lager by Huss Brewing Company, now available at the Tavern Grill in Scottsdale, Arena Sports Grill, Upper Crust in Cave Creek, and right here at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Try it out for yourself. The new Roc and Manuch Lager by Huss Brewing Company. Speaking of beer, the new Twin Peaks at Deer Valley. I was fortunate to go on Friday night for a little family and friends. It opens at 5 o'clock tonight, first time for everyone, to the general public. By far, the most impressive sports bar I've seen in Arizona.
Really?
It is gigantic. 138 televisions.
Wow.
Just huge outside, inside patio, private rooms. It really did a nice job. So check it out right off the 101 near the 17, 31st Avenue. Used to be a claim jumper, if you know the area over there in Deer Valley. Hey, we're going to do it again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We promise you we'll do a better job from 1 to 4.
We will.
And we'll be dressed better, too.
I certainly hope so, Ollie.
We have a dress code we just got word from the suits that Jimmy B needs to dress appropriate for tomorrow.